Hold your takes. Hold your takes. Sons of Spielberg, of Coppola, my brothers, I see in your waveform the same fear that would take the heart of me. A day may come when the podcasts of men fail, when we forsake our co-hosts and break all bonds of film analysis, but it is not this day. An hour of cold takes and shattered microphones when the age of pod comes crashing down, but it is not this day. This day we give our takes. By all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you, podcast, men of the West. And podcast we shall.
I'm inspired.
Welcome once more, my friends, my listeners, to Cinema Forecast, the movie podcast where every month we are randomly assigned a category by the legally distinct Movie Roulette. And we have 4 movies attached to said category. Each week we take one of the movies, we go in depth talking about them in the context of the category. And this month, there is no category.
Not this day.
The category is of our own choosing, and that is Lord of the Rings. We are doing the beloved trilogy. We have reached the conclusion of the trilogy, The Return of the King.
That's right, Alfredo, with a heavy heart.
Yeah, I'm excited. Very exciting. We've been talking themes this whole month, talking about what are the specific ideas that carry this story through. I'll go really quickly with mine. Very classic story of good versus evil. Actually, a very quick little anecdote. Apparently, J.R.R. Tolkien didn't like Dune, and one of the reasons that people have sort of speculated he didn't like it because it's very gray, whereas his story is a very black and white, sort of clearly good, clearly evil. And there's some playing in the middle with that that I think arises from the second theme, which is that power corrupts. That there is this way to go from. Again, I think I mentioned in the first episode, a lot of good people being turned bad, not so much bad people being turned good. And then another big theme has been loyalty, friendship. I kind of I started talking about this as love is the binding force, this sort of conception of almost God as this unifier of hope and also of bringing people together, in this brotherhood that is human existence, and in this case, Hobbit existence as well. And then lastly, one that I think of has been super fun because of how much it applies visually to these films is the idea that power is held in the smallest of things and scale, and how there are these tiny things, these little close-ups, these insert shots of the ring, and then there's these wide expanses of these mountain ranges and these tiny flames being lit in the distance.
Oh yeah.
Really cool stuff.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Yeah, on the note of Tolkien not liking Dune, I wonder if part of it is also just I feel like a lot of Dune is the criticism of the dogma of religion and how it can warp people to be manipulated and aspects like that. So I could see a very Catholic man being no. But yeah, my themes cross over a lot with Fredo's: humanity's perseverance, corruption of the soul, friendship, love, loyalty, and evil destroying itself when opposed by friendship, love, and loyalty. And I also mercy and faith have been a pretty constant theme as well as we've been discussing them.
Yeah, absolutely. Quickly before we jump into the first times watching the movie, I just want to do a quick little correction corner. As I've been doing my edits, I like to take notes sometimes and just touch back on certain things.
Yeah.
First thing was I want to just touch back on Hans Zimmer. I think that was a great shout for the Mount composer more. I was perhaps a little too reticent to include him, perhaps too nitpicky. But upon further thought about it and the womps of it all, I said, you know what? That was a good call. So got to give Connor his flowers for that one. Also, Viggo Mortensen, as I give, I also take away. Because Viggo Mortensen broke 2 toes, not his foot. I just want to get that on the record.
Oh, good.
So that people know.
Yeah, we got 30 comments about
They don't
this.
come after us. He also felt it was important to mention that the stunt crew were injured much worse and pushed through it. So I thought that was an interesting thing to note as well. I also wanted to, Connor, like you said, all the Valar are siblings. All of them are siblings. So the fact that I pointed out specifically that Melkor and Manwë are brothers slightly irrelevant, but also relevant, whatever. But I just thought it was important to shed a light on that. They're all the children of Iluvatar. I guess in a way, we are all brothers,
That's
We're all
right.
united. We're
One
all siblings.
fellowship.
And then the thing I couldn't remember how to say when I was talking about the Smeagol Gollum like split personality scene is a shot reverse shot. That's the
Yes.
technique I was trying to remember the name of.
Very cool.
Very cool. Do you remember the first time you saw this movie?
Yeah, in theaters like all the others. I believe I saw it in theaters 4 times. I was definitely feeling the length by the fourth watch, but loved it every time.
Yeah, for sure. I saw this one in theaters as well. I'm pretty sure I saw it with my buddy Andrew, who was scared of the orcs. And you know what? We left the movie theater, and he seemed like he had made some progress in
Wow.
his being scared of the orcs.
Beautiful.
Yeah, for sure. Good for him. He'd progressed past it, I think.
Yeah, I mean, this movie helps you overcome a lot of fear, I feel like. Should we just get right into it?
Yeah, for sure. I want to point out last time we were talking about how there was a writing team change, just an addition. Steven Sinclair, he's gone this time, so he just helped on the Two Towers.
Which is so interesting since they like filmed it all at once. I would have thought they kind of wrote it all at once, but fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, you can't write it all at once. You got to start at the beginning and you got to work your way to the end,
Yeah. Also, a quick fun anecdote. They had a really hard time getting approval for this film, and there was a lot of pushback to just make it into one film. And eventually they actually gave into that because they're like, well, we're not going to be able to make this movie unless we make it into one film. And then I forget the producer they brought it to or whoever like was their major funder. But he was like, they showed him like some kind of concept video. And he was like, I don't get it. And they're like, oh, no, he doesn't get it. Why don't we just make him into 3 films? And they're like, yes. And that was it. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool. Oh, I also was thinking about this while I was watching this movie. I never have talked about this, but when these movies were coming out, this is around the time I got into Magic the Gathering. And this is also, there was a card game that had been released in conjunction with the movies.
I had some of those, yeah.
And I played matches of this fucking Lord of the Rings card game.
How was it?
Not as good as Magic the Gathering.
I mean, that's the king. So.
Also, I just think it's very funny that back when the movies came out, they had their own card game because it felt like this sort of like, wow, look at this like awesome expanse for us to like, this whole like sector of like gaming that we can participate in. And then like 25 years later, and it's like Magic the Gathering has like a huge, like is such a huge part of like that sector, and so much so that they have like Lord of the Rings cards now.
Yeah, famously just the one ring that was bought by Post Malone for like $1 million or something.
Yeah, famously for normies, but I mean, there's a lot of other really cool cards we all really appreciate. I think Sauron, he can make orcs. If he's your commander, he can make orcs just from the command zone, which is insane value. We're talking insane value when you can do stuff from your command zone.
Is the art for the Magic cards all based on the movie, or is
No.
it? Oh, okay, cool. I love that.
No, it's I love that as well. I also I had when the Spider-Man set came out, I was like, oh man, is it gonna be like all the movie stuff? And no, it's a bunch of like of the comic book shit. But the Spider-Man set isn't great. The Lord of the Rings set, really good. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We're starting with Roots and Beginnings. So is called the opening track of this film. And I love how you're getting so much of a setup of like what the vibe is going to be like with each of the movies. Like the last one, seemed so like foreboding and hopeless. This one, there's so much hope in it. Like but we do have the ring theme that's like ominously woven into it.
Yeah, that's interesting you say that. I always thought of this intro as the most ominous, but maybe that's just the whole scenario here that plays out is so dark and ominous.
Yeah, I think if you listen to the track, the very start of it is very like
uplifting.
Very uplifting.
Yeah. I hear that.
There's like I said, there's the turn with the like ring theme that leads into this scene with Smeagol and Deagle. Dude, this guy's the king of names right here, dude.
Smeagol and Deagle.
Smeagol and Deagle. What a fucking genius.
I love opening up on Smeagol and the worm. I've always not always, but over the years, I've become more annoyed that his voice is already so weird.
Yes, me too. That's literally one of my notes. Also, he already looks creepy. Like when you
Yeah,
see him, he's already
they
kind
should
of
have
like
just made him more like that. Makes it such a more tragic scene to me if he's more of just like a regular dude,
just like a dude.
but
Yeah.
he's already like, give us that, my love.
I know his voice changes somewhat, but it's like not that much.
Yeah, but even the way he talks, where he said give us that, like he's still referring to himself as plural, which seems like the whole kind of conceit of the
Yeah,
split personality
it's
thing.
strange. Is that this scene isn't in the books, right?
No, I believe all we get of this is when Gandalf first reveals to Frodo that it is the One Ring. They talk about a lot more than they do in the movie, and he goes over what happened to Gollum in
Right.
that. But I don't, and then I think Gollum might mention it a few times, but yeah, you never get like a flashback by any means.
Word for sure. I mean, yeah, I think like that's maybe something that we could just shout out is that like the like whole viewpoint of the books is is all in present day, and
Yeah.
the majority of it is like, well, a lot of it like in the first book is just Frodo, right? And
Yeah.
then in the second book we have some point of view like switches, right?
So for both Two Towers and Return of the King, the books are split in half, where the first half is like Aragorn and crew, and the second half is Sam and Frodo on their journey.
Yeah, word. I think an interesting consideration, because I think if you were like started from just watching the movies, you'd be like, oh, this is like Game of Thrones, like fucking point of view chapters,
Right.
like almost sort of thing, but it's not.
I mean, you still get a little bit of that, like they're going between in the first half of Two Towers, for example, between Merry and Pippin, and then to Aragorn
Yeah.
and stuff, and
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's bouncing a little bit.
So we have Smeagol and Deagle, they're fishing. Deagle, this is definitely one of those scenes where I'm like, okay, I'm noticing the
Yeah, the
CGI a
CGI,
little
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
like, because he's in the water, he's getting pulled along. It's also pretty like silly, like
Yeah.
I don't mind it a ton, but it is a little silly, especially given like the weight that with like the rest of the scene, what's going to happen, like
Yeah.
the whole like them trying to murder each other over this fucking ring.
Yeah, I agree. I do really like, again, one of the perks of doing all these movies at once is that you get the shot of Deagle grabbing the ring from the sand, which is used in the opening intro of Fellowship, where they're describing the ring being found. So it's just so cool to like,
You have the recontextualization, because at first
Yes.
you're like, oh, Smeagol grabbing the ring, and then like, no, actually, it was Deagle. Like it didn't find him. Like he, murdered this guy to take it from him.
yeah. It's also kind of funny to me. Galadriel in the Fellowship prologue does that line like, "The ring was picked up by the most unlikely creature imaginable, a hobbit," and it's like, Golem was like basically a hobbit, right? Like I think they say he's like a cousin of a hobbit. I don't know if I think he's still like a hobbit. So.
Yeah, the river folk. Okay, I did also look into what are hobbits, right?
Yeah.
Because that is a question that's not really, not something that's like super spoken upon. Like if you engage with the Silmarillion, you know that men and elves are like created by Iluvatar himself. There's some different like thoughts from Tolkien himself about like the origin of orcs, and then dwarves are like created by Aule, but like they can't have like spirits or Feya of their own until they are imbued with them by Iluvatar, which is also, again, I think Connor mentioned it in Fellowship of the Ring. Really interesting like story to like delve into like more of the details of. But hobbits supposedly are like a shoot off of men, like who sort of eschewed this life of like power and grandeur for like the simpler things, right? So I guess the idea is that they're like men who like slowly evolved or were just selected to be shorter and have big feet and not wear shoes.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
But so they're supposed to be related to men.
Yeah, I kind of remember from the Silmarillion that they at some point they just kind of like spring up, like it's like, oh, there's hobbits now.
Yeah, they like find them. So I think
Yeah.
like the idea is that they are men who went off,
Yeah.
sort of got lost, and then they're like rediscovered by the rest of like civilization.
Strange, but cool.
Yeah, for sure. Is there much else you want to say about Smeagol and Deagle? It's like it's pretty like heartbreaking.
I mean,
watching
I
it
love
happen.
the moment when he sees the ring in his hand and the music, just like everything, like that happens a couple times in this movie where the sound of like the everything else besides the music kind of just like falls away, and it's just like this intense, uh, yeah, just really, I don't know, poignant scene, I think, of the ring taking hold of Deagle and the way it immediately grabs Smeagol.
Yeah, yeah, it is like I said, it's tragic. It is this really very like the way that they so quickly turn to violence against one another is very sad. I just want to shout out happy birthday Smeagol, you know. He should have just given you the ring. I don't know what the
Yeah.
fuck was up with that, dude. It was your birthday and you wanted it, you know.
I
But
love the like pulsing music while he's choking. It's just like the sound design in this is so intense. Oh yeah, I mean 11 Oscars, I believe, for Return of the King. Amazing. And part of me feels like it's kind of like a lifetime achievement for all three movies, but there's so much to love in this and so much sound design and music and the things we've been gushing about this whole time.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, you said it, so let's do it. Try and guess what it won.
Oh, well, Best Picture, Best Director. Did it win Best Audio? Or what is that one called? Like audio design?
Best sound mixing?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
You're on track.
Makeup,
It wait, I'm sorry. Yes, it won makeup.
music.
It yes, original song, yes.
Um.
Oh wait, no, well there's two different ones. It won two of them. It won best music, original score, best music, original song.
Interesting. What's the original song? Does it say?
Into the West.
Okay. And then I guess probably is there more than one for actors,
Is there more than one for actors?
or do the actors not count as the part of the 11?
There this is not here. It's not here.
Interesting. Okay. Best editing.
Yes.
Uh, cinematography, is that one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I guess
Visual effects,
Okay.
art direction.
Yeah.
Did you say costume?
I did.
And then
Or maybe I just said
writing,
makeup.
adapted screenplay.
Of
Yeah,
course.
costume and makeup are different.
Yeah. Cool.
Very
Yeah.
very cool.
Very
cool.
impressive. Yeah, and I also, again, I don't know what the timeline is supposed to be for how long it takes for Smeagol to murder Deagle after he finds the ring. But like my own kind of headcanon for why it happens this way is like the ring's been underwater for thousands of years, and I kind of take it as like when he finds it, it just like has all this like
Pent up energy.
Yeah, this stored power, and
It's
just
about
like,
a bus.
yeah, it's about to bust, and it just latches on to the first like creatures that find it, so it's just like a extra level of intensity.
Yeah, absolutely. So, okay, so the thing is, best actor, it was actually, I don't think they were nominated at all
Oh wow.
for best actor or best actress. And then supporting role, also not nominated.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, dude, you have Mystic River and like Lost in Translation out that year. You have more sort of like,
Sure. I feel like
performance intensive.
I would have
like,
really appreciated a Sean Astin nomination at least.
Sean Astin, yeah, I mean, you're speaking my language, dude. That's like, I honestly, after rewatching these movies, I think that's my guy, dude. Like,
Yeah, he's my guy.
especially fucking now that PSH, has passed away. I mean, so long ago now, but I think I'm finally in the market for a new guy, and I think it's Sean Astin.
Excellent.
Also, shout out Yahya Abdul Mateen II. That's another one of my guys. Love that guy. I cast him as Mr. Tibbs in my remake of In the Heat of the Night.
Very good.
That was for the film heads, dude. Are you out there, film heads? Are you out there listening?
I love this transformation. I mean, I remember in Fellowship I said that moment with Bilbo where he like turns into a monster for a second in Rivendell is the scariest part of the trilogy. I think it's this sequence right here. This is terrifying. The way they did the practical makeup for Smeagol's transformation into Golem, like he looks horrifying.
Yeah, it's really well done. I unfortunately am taken out of it a little bit with the CGI eye morph, and like where you see this really well done like makeup
Yeah,
effect
yeah.
turn into like this digital asset is
Yeah.
a little like it's almost like this metaphor for the industry, like right where it is
Yeah.
kind of like brings a little bit of a tear to my eye where I'm like, fuck, it's good, it's good, it's not completely taking me out of it, but it is noticeable and makes me I like in my
Mm-hmm.
note I said I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it's short enough that it like, you know, we get out unscathed.
Yeah, yeah. There's part of me that kind of wishes that they would have just gone with this practical look for the whole trilogy. But also maybe that's too dark for the vibe they're going
With
for.
the makeup, it all like looks so real, like the way that he is like wasting away,
Yeah,
and then his eyes just get really big. Like,
yeah.
okay,
I don't know.
I mean, I could see, yeah, maybe over like 500. I
Yeah,
don't know, dude. It's
yeah.
hard. I could see over like years and years if he was like, you know, having children and there were these like mutations that were like if
Sure.
evolution was happening, sure,
I mean,
but
there's magic involved, you know.
there's magic involved. That's true. There is magic involved.
The shot of him eating the fish is so brutal. I wonder how many takes they had to do for that, because it's just like, damn, this, like the way it just mashes on it.
Looks tasty.
Yeah, yeah, I like this line from him when he's crawling into the cave. And we forgot the taste of bread, the sound of the trees, the feel of the wind. We even
The
forgot our own
softness
name.
of the
Oh, the
wind.
softness of the wind. Yes.
Yeah, even forgot our own name. And then he just says, "My precious."
My precious. Yep, a lot of that in this movie. And then yeah, we're with Sam and Frodo.
I love it. Opens with shots of leafless trees, right? Which I think
Mm-hmm.
is a great visual metaphor. It is a sort of like loss of hope, or
Yeah.
like we're at this very low moment.
Yeah, and I mean it's just perfect thematically, just how much darker and more desolate it gets as they get closer to Mordor.
Yeah, we've got more of Frodo stroking his ring.
Oh yeah. Sam's sleeping, and you know he wakes up. Yeah, and then we get that
Smeagol
line.
pops in and wakes them up.
Yeah,
Basically,
right. Yeah, Sam's like, "Oh, you shouldn't have let me sleep in so late," and Frodo's like, "Nah, it's just the days are growing darker, bro. Like
Yeah,
it's getting dark out here."
it is a cute little exchange where he said, "Haven't you had any sleep, Mister Frodo?" And like Frodo kind of like shakes his head, and Sam goes, "I've had too much."
Yeah, yeah.
Which made me laugh a little bit. I thought it was again Sean Astin. Well, just the way Sam is written, his delivery and his like the construction of
Mm-hmm.
his lines. There's just something very charming about the way he puts things.
Oh yeah. Then
yeah,
the earthquake. Yeah.
Yeah, Smeagol wants to rush them along as well.
Yeah. Um.
And this is where we first have mention of the rationing of the lambus bread, how much is left, and that Sam is trying to save enough for them to make the journey back home.
Yeah.
And you can see Frodo is like kind of like, you know, like taken aback by how much hope his friend has. Like, wow, I like almost like I wasn't even thinking about making our way back, and he's still thinking about that.
The journey home. Yeah, and speaking of charming, he tells Frodo he's not gonna eat because he's not hungry. Like he's just like giving his food to
Yeah.
Frodo just so Frodo's stronger and he'll just tough it out, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and Gollum says no safe places here when they start heading out, and I thought that was a very like, yep, that's the whole rest of the movie for these guys.
Yeah, we see them getting closer and closer to Mordor. And then next we cut into the fellowship theme being teased as we see Gandalf, Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, I think with Éomer and maybe even Theoden is with them, like
Yeah.
riding through the forest towards Isengard. And then we move up through the trees and we get the return of the king.
Yeah.
Very satisfying moment, you know, like
Absolutely.
we put this much work into like going to see these movies over the last like 3 years, well 2 years, and like here we are at like 3 years because this one comes out in 2004, or does it come out in 2003, sorry. So we are, you know, we are at the end of the journey, and there's something very exciting about that.
Yeah, and I just love how long it takes to get to that. Like we've already seen such an intense dark opening, and then it's like, all right, now welcome in, just like get cozy, we're gonna go on an epic journey.
Yeah. And I love the way how we're flying over the trees and we hear Pippin saying, you know, he feels like he's back at the Green Dragon after a hard day's work. Merry teasing him saying, but you've never done a hard day's work.
And he's just like, yeah, true.
And I love the way that the gang pulls up to Merry and Pippin and they're like, we were fucking worried sick about you. Here you guys are, feasting and smoking.
Yeah, and Gimli like, they have pork.
Yeah, the salted pork is particularly good. And then again, just speaking to the age of the Ents, how he calls Gandalf young Master Gandalf.
Yeah, I
you
love
know?
that. Yeah.
Treebeard also just the way he talks, I fucking love. I wrote down the line, blood and water, stock and stone I can master, but there is a wizard to manage here, locked in this tower, locked in his tower. And they're talking about what to do with Saruman, and Gandalf is like, fucking just leave him, dude.
Yeah, Mercy coming back again here. This is the weirdest cut from the extended edition for me, where they don't show Saruman's death. And that's just like such a weird cinematic choice because Saruman has basically been like, alongside the Ring and Sauron, like the main villain, and there's just like no conclusion to his character.
Yeah, the way he just drops out from being like the main baddie to just like not being there anymore. Like it is kind of wild.
Yeah, and it's just like a couple minute scene they cut. Like just throw it in there.
Throw her in.
Yeah, weird choice.
Throw her in. She's already 3 hours and 21 minutes long. Throw her in.
Yeah, just a couple minutes.
Maybe like just make the scene on the bed at the end like a tiny bit shorter.
No. Double that, but also throw in this.
Cut a little bit. You can cut a little bit.
Yeah, well, so when Treebeard says the filth of Saruman is washing away, that is in response to the extended edition, him falling from the tower after he's stabbed by Wormtongue, and he falls on a well, or I don't know.
He gets impaled on something.
Yeah, and that turns into, it's not a well, like a wheel, like a water wheel. And then he falls into the water, and that's what Treebeard's responding to, which is also, Saruman has the Palantir with him, so that's why it's like sitting in the water here, because he, it fell out of his hand into the water, where Pippin finds it.
Yep.
And I like this, this is a movie edition from what I recall, but I like this whole temptation with the Palantir and Pippin, and just like, I mean, Pippin and Merry have great arcs in this movie, like especially Pippin, and it's really cool to see that coming from all the way back from Fellowship, where they're such silly guys.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely like the way that they both kind of have by the end of it. They all have had these like moments of such deep like trauma, like engaging with the war or whatever their specific tasks were. But yeah. Definitely, like, this movie, like, gives them all so much more weight, I feel like.
Absolutely.
And then also just with Merry and Pippin eventually getting separated, I think it, like, adds a lot to it.
Yeah.
We have all of the, like you said, they find the Palantir or whatever, and then Pippin looks back. I love the way that Billy Boyd acts, the way, like, the performance of him looking at Gandalf, because there's a mix of, like, shame and curiosity.
Yeah.
Where, like, he, like, you can tell that he feels bad, but he's also like longing to like sort of see it again.
Right.
And I like that it's sort of like ambiguous like that. We get the Riders of Rohan theme coming back as the group rides back to Edoras, and we see Éowyn watching from the top. Theoden doing a cheers to the victorious dead.
Yeah, good line.
And we hold on Aragorn for a second looking, sad.
Yeah, I love, again, his whole arc of, he's coming to his own. He knows what he has to do, but there's still this weight of hesitation and like fear around everything, doubt.
Yeah, for sure. Éowyn offering Aragorn the chalice to sip from, and he does, but then he walks away. And we have this moment where Theoden tells Éowyn that he's happy for her because he's an honorable man. And she says, "You're both honorable men." And you can tell that Theoden is really sort of battling with himself in a way where he says, that King Theoden wasn't the one who led his people to victory. And Éowyn like seems kind of struck by this. And I love how they just kind of like leave it in the air, like what's he feeling, like what's going on? But like clearly he feels insecure about, I think, his role as a ruler, which makes sense because he was like, his mind was compromised at a certain point. And then also that it was him sort of needing to lean on these other people to help his people. But I think it speaks to like, that's the only way we're going to get through this, right? Like, is like together. Yeah. Like, there's still going to be some baggage with that.
Yeah, I mean, another great character arc with King Theoden, because like at the end of Two Towers, he is kind of ready to give up before that final charge, So I think he's also just struggling with uh, his own loss of faith in him, his people, his country, that like humanity will survive, and then seeing how you know badass Aragorn is at like all of these
Yeah,
aspects.
I think he like even is like I think because he understands leadership in a really cool way, where he's like, even in the darkest moments, I will provide hope for my people, which I think is a really cool sort of way to like look at it. And he's down on himself because he lost hope, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of hope, Merry and Pippin singing, dancing
So
on the table.
I was going to bring this up because at the end of Two Towers, you're saying like, okay, I'm docking a whole letter grade for each of these movies because not enough damn
No,
songs.
this one has more
so
singing,
many
for sure.
songs in this one, and I love that.
I wouldn't say so many. There's
like four or five.
I don't think there's that many.
Okay, we'll count them out.
Well, yeah,
Number one here.
Yeah, number one right here. And then Pippin sings later on. Aragorn also sings. What's the
You get Gollum singing his little song to Frodo in Shelob's cave.
Yeah, but that's not. Yeah, I guess
It's
so.
still singing.
Yeah, it's still singing, I guess. Yeah, okay. I'll say there's 4.
Okay. Yeah, there might be another I'm forgetting too, but yeah, it's just cool to see because, like we said, the books just have so many songs, so much constant singing, so it's great for that to come into this
it's an
one.
improvement. It's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
improvement, but like
We could still raise those numbers.
we could definitely pump those numbers up for sure.
Um,
But I was very happy about that. I definitely wrote down every time I saw singing, and I was like, "This is good stuff."
yeah, and I love this song they're singing, the Green Dragon song. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah,
fun,
yeah.
really melodic.
The dark brown ale.
Yeah, yeah, and I love the little detail of when they're dancing. I can't remember. I think it's probably Pippin like kicks one of the beers off the
Yeah,
table
yeah.
into one of the soldiers' lap, and
It's also nice to see Gandalf just like grooving along. You know,
Yeah.
he's been so serious since he
Yeah.
became the White Wizard.
absolutely.
It's nice to see him having fun. Ian McKellen did say he liked playing Gandalf the Grey a lot more than Gandalf the White.
Oh, interesting. More jolly or like.
Yeah, I think it's just maybe more his vibe. I think
Yeah.
Gandalf the White is so it feels so sort of rigid, you know?
Yeah. I love Gandalf's arc in this movie too. The one thing I really noticed this time around is just how like exhausted they made the actors look as the like battles are going on and stuff.
Oh yeah, man. When they're like way later on, when they're in like Gondor and you look at Gandalf's face, you're like,
Oh
this
my
guy
God.
is not doing so hot.
No.
But speaking of his arc, this is a great moment that sort of encapsulates it, where Aragorn
yeah.
says to Gandalf every day, the ring moves closer, right? And Gandalf says, how do you know, right? He's like lost hope. And
Yeah.
Aragorn asks him, what does your heart tell you? And I love that, like, we have this moment, Gandalf, like, you're right. He's still moving towards Mordor. Frodo's alive.
Yeah. No, great. Yeah, I love seeing like Gandalf is like a literal like angel in the lore. So for him to be doubting and for him to need reassurance is powerful to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Literal angel. I will say the caveat of like literal angel, but like in a world where angels are different than our world, because
Yeah.
like I don't see angels every day, you know, like
Yeah.
they're much like it's this world where there is this interaction with like the holy,
Not
like
that you
much
know
more.
of. There could be 5 ancient angels walking around.
Yeah, but in these movies, they're seeing him, they're knowing him, and they're
Yeah, yeah.
aware of his power level. Even if I am interacting with these like angels who are on this level, I don't know it, and
Yeah.
that's part of the difference that I'm highlighting here. Is that these people are fully aware that this guy is like this super powerful being.
Yeah, and you mentioned this a little bit with the way like he was getting called a bunch of different names in Two Towers, and I'm always curious about that too. Is how much does everyone know who Gandalf is? Like, how far back do they know his history? Which events is he famous for in their like lore? You know?
I think they have the conception of the idea, at least clearly, of wizards,
Yeah.
and like wizards being on this different level than the common folk, right?
Yeah. Well, I think there's a cool kind of little through line where the further east they go, the more familiar people seem to be with him. Because when we arrive in Gondor, they refer to him by his actual name, Mithrandir.
That's not his actual name, though.
Is it not? I thought.
No, Gandalf isn't his name. Mithrandir isn't his name. Mithrandir is what the elves call him, and it
Ah.
translates roughly to Grey Pilgrim or Grey Wanderer.
Okay.
But neither of these are his actual name.
Did we get his actual name in the lore?
We might. I'm not sure,
Interesting.
but
I guess
yeah.
like Mithrandir is the oldest name, maybe, since it's from the elves.
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. And I think that's also like I was reading some people talking about it online, and it seems like some people were confused why like people in Gondor would be calling him by an Elvish name, and it's supposed to point to how old like Gondor is, like how like long their history goes back and their interactions with
Yeah.
Gandalf, like pointing
And
to
the
this.
elves. I
Yeah.
mean, the first big war against Sauron, which was like the entirety of the Second Age, basically. Yeah. Then we go to Golem struggling.
Yeah, he's talking in his sleep about killing the hobbits. And he wakes himself up. He's like talking so sort of like loudly. And we have this back and forth with Smeagol talking to Gollum, who's the reflection in the water.
This is great.
Yeah, it is great for the most part. The part where he like it's a little too hammy with the for me.
Sure. I
Um,
just like a lot of the. I mean, Golem is just such a complicated character, and I love the.
I think that he is, but also like he's not, which is what is cool about him. Is like he's very singularly focused and but conflicted.
Yeah. Well, I guess the conflicting part is the complicated
Yeah,
part
absolutely. No, I don't disagree that he's a complicated character,
because
but
he's conflicted in so many ways and in so many aspects. And one thing I really loved here is the way that like the golem side of him in the water is kind of like sweetening him up. Like he's calling him like like what's the matter, my precious, my
no.
love.
Okay, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Smeagol calls Gollum precious.
Uh-huh.
Gollum calls Smeagol love.
Yeah, but
They use different like pet names for each other.
yeah. But I just got the sense that it's almost like he's manipulating himself. His personality is like sweet talking himself, and I just
Yeah,
thought
he's
that
trying
was
to
really
like love
compelling.
bomb and fucking gaslight himself.
Yeah, and they set up that they're taking him to the tunnel where she's always hungry. A lot of good foreshadowing here. Sam hears him plotting. Oh yeah, I also like the moment where he's like, and then we will take the ring for me, and Golem's like, for us, and he's like, oh yes, for us.
Yeah.
And yeah, so Sam smacks
Sam
him
wakes
around.
up, yeah, because he hears Smeagol scheming, right?
Yeah, and I've always like, I don't know, it's a little too much that he hears that he's gonna kill them, because I'm like, I know Frodo, but it's like it's almost like too on the nose that he knows that Golem is dangerous. Like I would like a little more ambiguousness with whether or not Sam I want Sam suspicious. I don't want him knowing that Golem said he's going to kill them.
Yeah, for sure. I'm always for more ambiguity for the most part, especially in these kinds of things. I think because there's so much other stuff going on, I don't really like think about it like too much. Also, I think it just goes to show how far gone Frodo
Yeah.
is and the power of psychological manipulation
Yeah.
of like this gaslighting that
Yeah.
Smeagol now does to like Frodo, right?
He's really good at manipulating. I think that aspect of him is like really well written.
And he knows the buttons. Well, because it's like this. It's like I'm a drug addict. You're a drug addict.
Uh-huh.
I know just how to appeal to your like addictive tendencies,
Yeah,
right?
and your insecurities and worries and
Yeah, it's very smart. I love also showing that Smeagol, he's a bit of a schemer. Like he's not just like this like wild force. Like he still has that like I don't know if you'd call it a human aspect, but like that intellectual
Yeah,
like
he's cunning.
Yes, exact. Cunning is a great way to put it. And the way that Frodo at the end of the scene takes his hand and walks off with him.
and Golem gives him that Sam that shit-eating grin.
Yeah, dude, fucking piss. Dude, that's one of the things about watching this movie when I was younger is like I was so much more susceptible to like my emotional reactions dictating me enjoying something. So like watching this movie and being so annoyed with like Smeagol and Frodo like made it harder to enjoy. Now that I'm older and I can appreciate the like tension that's created by that, I like it a lot more, obviously.
Yeah, one of the most contentious changes from the books, Frodo never sends Sam away. Like they're pretty much through it, thick and true,
Thick and thin.
Thick and thin, yeah.
Thick and true.
Thick and true, just like the ring.
The way I like
Not
my
really.
peanut butter. I think it's fun in the movies to show this, like, and like Sam has this cool hero moment
Yeah.
again, as I have been sort of a proponent for more of a like by the text adaptation throughout. I would be interested to revisit this part of the book and see what's going on.
Yeah. Well,
But
so like a big part of that again is the first half of Frodo and Sam's section in Return of the King is the journey to Mordor, and then like the second half is like the aftermath and the scouring of the Shire and stuff. So the movie has to set up more tension.
it has to fatten it up.
Yeah, it has to, and I think it works really well, except it diminishes Frodo a little bit because, like you said, I do think there is a little bit more of a bad taste in your mouth around Frodo for kind of turning on Sam. That's
yeah,
not
and
in
then,
the book,
and
you
then
know?
like the fact that at the end he fucking just like leaves and he's like, yeah, I can't really hang with you guys anymore. I'm like too traumatized. And Sam's like, bro, like, are you fucking serious? Like, I fucking carried you up the fucking mountain, you piece of shit. Like, not that he actually feels like that because he's a sweet, sweet man.
Yeah.
But like, there is this part of like me that's like, Frodo, like you like are like, I'm so much more broken than you guys, and it's like, shut the fuck up.
Well, he is.
I mean, yeah,
he
he is. Yeah, he carried the ring for sure.
Well,
but
so it's mentioned in the movies, but it's a bigger thing in the book. The stab wound he has,
Yeah, for sure,
is like
yes.
life threatening. It's
Yeah.
basically killing him.
That's right. That's right. Yes, yeah, that is easy to forget. But again, I just want to say, you know, like all of these guys have been through their things. You know, I'm glad that he goes off and does his thing, but I just wish that he would have shown a little bit more care to saying goodbye to his friends who really, really loved him. You know.
I mean, he leaves a nice letter.
Yeah, a nice letter, whatever. You know, I don't know. I just think it's nice to like be honest with your friends and say when you're gonna like, you know, sail off to like the Undying Lands. But
Yeah.
whatever, dude.
I mean, I get that too, because he doesn't. He knows that he might go back on his choice if like he has time to be convinced by his friends.
Well,
you know?
then he's not very good at making choices, I guess. Look, this is what I'm saying. Look, I totally understand it within the framework of like the film and everything, but I don't think it's wrong to point out his flaws as like a person.
Oh, sure.
I think
I just disagree on this one. I get everything that happens with him leaving, like
yeah,
him
for
turning
sure.
on
I
Sam.
get him leaving. I get him leaving for sure. I just think, you know, I think especially with the way he's painted in the movies, it is like a little bit of like, okay, dude, I get it, man. I get it. You had a hard time, dude. That sucks. All right, so
Got
Eric-
Aragorn and Legolas
Yeah.
chat. I love the look. Again, they do. I think we mentioned this in Fellowship, just like how great the night scenes look.
Yeah, the blocking also great. Aragorn walking
Yeah.
out like alone at night, and the way he like looks out on the scene and then turns and sees another lonely figure.
Yeah, just like the silhouette.
And I like,
Cloak.
there's this part of me that just loves that he walks up to him, right?
Yeah.
Like where it is like he's looking for companionship or
Yeah.
like in this like sort of moment.
Yeah,
And Legolas always being very poetic.
the stars are veiled.
Something stirs to the east, a sleepless malice. The eye of the enemy is moving.
Yeah, I love it.
Really good shit. And I love how it comes back in a second in the next scene because we'll have
Yeah.
him and go, he's here.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
really fucking good shit.
Yeah.
Also, Legolas, I don't know if I feel like from reading the book, like the books, I feel like you get so much more of him. Like, and I do think that they're very efficient with him in the movies. But I am like, God, you're so mysterious. Like, I want to know so much more about you.
Yeah, I've always kind of felt he was the weakest of the Fellowship, just in terms of like characterization. You definitely get more of him in the book, but even then, he's still kind of.
I think he's supposed to be like mysterious, and that's what like draws me so much to him. Also, that he's like so tapped into like the world. Another
Yeah.
thing I was thinking,
I mean, he's
of-
very cool.
very cool.
Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking about is like they never talk, like they're talking this whole movie about Arwen is dying, like she's not gonna be like able to like live forever. What the fuck is going on with Legolas? None of that is mentioned with it.
Well, that's the kind of weird thing they set up with her giving up her immortality and all
Yeah.
that. It's kind of like, especially that she's just like, there's one thing to give up your immortality, but the fact that her fate is now bound to the ring surviving, like none of that really makes much sense. But like, you know, I just like it sounds like it could be in the book, so I guess that's good enough.
yeah, I guess so. But yeah, I just wonder about Legolas. You know, like what his I wish I knew more about him. Ooh woo.
Ooh.
I mean, I think maybe part of it is Orlando Bloom, and just what a handsome man.
Oh yeah, good looking guy.
Yeah.
We got Pippin stealing the Palantir. I love Gandalf with his eyes open. That's very Gandalf.
Yeah, I also love Mary. Like, Pippin, what are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing, dude? What are you doing?
Yeah, and an effective moment of the Palantir taking hold of him, and the "I see you" and the music and the horror, and
And Aragorn grabbing it and then like falling over immediately, like fainting, and
yeah,
it rolling out of his hands.
yeah, it's good. I like this moment.
Yeah, really good stuff. The only thing I don't like is Pippin is flailing in some low frame rate slow
Oh
motion
yeah, yeah,
at a
yeah,
certain point in the scene. I'm like, eh.
yeah, yeah. I thought it was fine. Yeah, we got Pippin in a daze. I love how Gandalf's immediately like, "Fool of a took," and then he sees how bad state of it is, and then he rushes over to him and just like shoves Merry to the ground.
Yeah,
But how like tender he is with him
yeah,
when
he
he's over.
he is
Yeah.
tender. And then he asks him what he saw, and he says that he sees the white tree in a courtyard and it's dead.
Yeah.
And then I think he shouts out at that moment like that the Minas Tirith, like the white tree of Gondor. Not Pippin, but Gandalf. And then Pippin says that he saw him, implying Sauron. He asked him his name, but he did not answer. And Gandalf wants to know, what did you tell him about Frodo and the ring? And I love how Pippin's face is like, oh shit, that's right. He's like, oh man, I didn't even think about that. And then the next scene we confirm, in like a sort of council that Gandalf is saying he's a fool, but he would never like.
But an honest fool.
Yeah, but an honest fool. He didn't say he didn't give up anything about Frodo and the ring.
Yeah, and he kind of foreshadows here, which is a big part in the books. I remember Sauron's fear of Aragorn and the coming and the reunion of man. And I had kind of forgotten this detail that the whole reason everything's about to go down is because they just won the Battle of Helm's Deep. Saruman has fallen basically, and Sauron's striking before the kingdoms can unite. And that I think that adds a lot of good context to like the actual like strategic maneuvering happening in the movie.
Yeah, I like that. I also like the turning of the thing into like, hey, this is actually kind of like a positive thing. Like we know that they're like looking to strike Gondor, right? The whole thing of him being scared of Aragorn is really cool. Like I love that aspect of picturing Sauron fearful of like also the line where Gandalf says like he sees men aren't as weak as he thought.
Yeah.
Kind of cool, I mean, I think it lends because so many like bad guys are just like whatever, you're weak, you suck, I'll crush you. But like sort of Sauron having this moment of like acknowledging the growing strength of his opponent.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in the lore I really appreciate. Where Sauron, as big of a baddie he is, there is like this like deep layer of insecurity and fear that kind of drives everything he does, and you actually get a lot of that in the Silmarillion of Morgoth, who at one point is challenged by a mortal man who manages to wound him before he slays him, and after that he becomes like basically isolated hermit who won't leave his castle and stuff because he's afraid of man.
Good shit.
Yeah.
Good shit.
And this is like a god that like afraid of people, which I think is very cool.
Yeah.
They mentioned the beacons of Gondor. A lot of setup here.
I also love Theoden just like fuck Gondor, bro. They
What do
didn't
we owe
help me.
Gondor?
Yeah, we
Where
don't
was
owe them shit,
Gondor
dog.
when the Westfold fell?
Yeah, we don't owe them shit, dude. I like also that Gandalf and Aragorn kind of like have this face like, bro, whoa, for real? You wound me. Like, that's hurtful, dude.
Yeah.
And Aragorn offers to ride to Gondor to warn them, but Gandalf tells him, no, you have another path to arrive at Minas Tirith.
And I like, again, like we've kind of hinted at, or not hinted at, but just like discussed the magic system and how the vagueness can kind of work and not work in certain aspects. But I like this kind of this future telling that's kind of always looming around some of these magical characters. And it's like, they don't have to tell you Gandalf is seeing the future. He just says things that are like, oh, he's having glimpses of things to come,
Yeah, follow the river, look to the black ships. And then Gandalf is going to ride off for Minas Tirith, but he's not going alone. He's taking Pippin.
Yes, sir.
With him. But in this next scene, we see Merry and Pippin, and I love Merry. Like, why'd you look?
This
Why
is
do
a
you
great
always
scene.
have to look?
I love this scene.
And then you aren't kind of like, as the viewer, you're like, oh, maybe he's taking both of them with him. But no, like the way that it concludes with Pippin riding off alone.
Yeah, and just
with
like
Gandalf.
the fear and sadness between them, and like the genuine love there. And Gandalf's line, "Run, Shadowfax, show us the meaning of haste."
Yeah,
I love that line.
It's great.
It's so good.
It's really, really good. I fucking love it so much. I also just love like Pippin asking like, "You're gonna come with me, right?" Like
Yeah.
asking, "You're coming with me, right?" And then they're
When will I see you again?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, he looks to Gandalf, and Gandalf's like, I
Yeah.
don't fucking know, bro.
And Mary gives him the last of the long bottom leaf. Tells him,
you smoke too much,
I
Pippin.
know, yeah, he's like, "I know you ran out of your stats, bro. I got you." Yeah, and the line also 3 days ride as the Nazgul flies, and you better hope we don't run into one of those.
Oh boy. Yeah. I love Mary running after, or like running to the top of the battlements to like see them leave, and just Aragorn's so great. Like the way he like sees that something's wrong with Mary, and he like rushes after him to check in on him. It's just so sweet. Like,
And that he like feels for him, and that like Viggo Mortensen does a great job of communicating empathy, like so efficiently.
They cut off the end of this scene from the non-extended, which is a bummer, but like Mary goes into a little like dialogue of just like how they've always been together, and it's cute. It's cute. I would have liked it.
Yeah. We have Arwen with the procession of elves and her having this vision of her son running through the woods to like Aragorn. Very cute, but like definitely some of the shit in this movie where I'm like, I don't know if I don't mind it when I was watching it. I didn't mind it, but now like in retrospect, thinking about it, I'm like,
I like it. I like the way the vision looks, where it's just
it looks
like,
very cool. Yes,
it's just like this set like in the woods, kind of. Like, I don't know how they made that work, but
it's
it looks
very cool.
It looks
the way
awesome.
it like morphs into existence.
Yeah, and it's cool to just see because we hear like we know Elrond can see the future, and it's cool to see like what that looks like.
Yeah, for sure. Also, like the way that the kid like stares at her. But then I'm like, I feel like there's too many shots of the kid staring at her. It's making me feel like he's a little creepy.
Well, it's just like one long shot of him staring at her after. Yeah, it's almost like Destiny is challenging her or like shaming her or something.
Like,
It's a little weird. I agree.
But still, like you said, the technical aspect's very fun as well.
Yeah, and I mean, important
also,
for her character.
It is also just like, that's like you didn't think you were gonna have a kid,
her father told her the only thing here is death, and and he thinks that Aragorn is going to die.
Yeah, but
so
like
he doesn't,
I mean,
she doesn't think, and Aragorn broke up with her.
Yeah, but like I don't know. There's this like part of it, like I don't know. It just feels very like, oh man, look a kid. Oh shit, yeah, a kid. I love kids.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, here's a future you could have that your father didn't tell you about.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
And then when we get her going home and having this conversation.
We do.
Like, I looked into your future and I saw death.
Also,
but you also saw life.
Very sick, scene of Rivendell with like the horse riding through
at night.
Yeah. I think too with just like Yeah, he saw death. Yeah, he saw life. Like, you just take what he... I don't know. No, I know what you mean with everything, but it's just like, there's like... I mean, he's obviously being like somewhat like... And you can't see it because you're in the situation, but obviously he's being somewhat manipulative. Obviously he wants for you to be like with him in like the Undying Lands. I guess I don't know. I'm just a little bothered by like a part of it. Maybe it's just like
not
me.
In the books.
And I think maybe that's why I'm a little bit more critical of it. Where I'm like,
but she's also barely in the book, so it
which sucks. Yeah,
I think this is a good beat for her.
Yeah, I also
because every character's struggling with something, and she's struggling to abandon her people and stay, in this mortal world forever instead of joining like the land of the gods.
I think it's enough for me for her to just decide to turn back. Like, I feel like she's contending with enough. She seems conflicted enough throughout the story that it's not that hard for me to see her being like, actually, no, I'm gonna like fucking I'll throw it away for love. I don't care. Like, like the death of the one I love. Like, at least I'll have him for like a moment. Like that's
she thinks she won't though. She thinks she's not gonna see him again.
Yeah, but, sure, for sure.
I mean, in her like legendary future scene, father told her so.
Yeah, but
I also like that you get to see her powers, which is cool,
but I just think like maybe just the thought of like hope, and it's like maybe I won't see him again, but just the chance that I will see him again just feels very compelling.
Sure.
Whereas like what she needs to be called back with is this very sort of like not very sort of, but like this much more concrete, like, hey, if you come back, you could have like a family. And I like her maybe giving it up without knowing
Yeah.
anything for sure.
A bigger leap of faith.
Yeah.
Because it is still a leap of faith here. Her father tells her that future is almost gone. So, like, it's most likely not going to happen. She doesn't care.
It's also like watching the movies and knowing what happens. Maybe I'm also a little bit like ruined for this realm. Like, yeah, and like being the audience, I'm like, yeah, obviously you're gonna get to have like a family. Like, but anyway, we digress greatly. But this is what people want to hear about. They want to hear us talking shit about Arwen's arc.
Oh, yes, hold on. So there's this moment here where she's basically encouraging Elrond to reforge Narsil, the finger that took, or the sword that took Sauron's finger. And we get
It's a great, cool voiceover.
Yeah, well, we get her reading some of the poem of Aragorn's prophecy. So I just wanted to read that because it's pretty short, and I've mentioned it a couple times. All that is gold does not glitter. Not all those who wander are lost. The old that is strong does not wither. Deep roots are not reached by the frost. From the ashes a fire shall be woken. A light from the shadows shall bring. Renewed shall be the blade that was broken. The crownless again shall be king.
Not all who wander are lost.
Good shit.
Tolkien with his fucking Stanley Cup, his basic bitch fucking Subaru, his bumper sticker that says "Mountains, please." No, I'm just joking. He's got a tattoo on his like a tiny little script tattoo on his arm that says "Wanderlust." No, I'm just joking.
Yeah, I love that poem.
This is a great poem. It's a great poem.
And just how relevant it is today. Like I'm like, you know, that whole thing just comes from this silly fantasy book, and I bet all those soccer moms don't even know it, you know.
All those who wander are not lost, dude.
That's right.
I'm thinking less soccer moms.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking more
Hippy dippy.
No, soccer moms works, I guess. Whatever, dude. There's no need to sit here and just put people into categories. We're already doing that with movies.
That's right. Yeah, Arwen drops the book. Her life is fading for some reason. The life of the Eldar is leaving you. And yeah, it's interesting. So, like, I think they're implying here that so her life is bound to the ring, and when they said she abandoned her immortality, did she literally like become immortal? Is that what they're implying, or is it just like the super magic of the elves is gone, but she still is gonna have a super long life?
I think it's kept ambiguous for a reason.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I think that it was not fully thought out. Maybe they have an idea of exactly what's going on, but
yeah, better to keep it ambiguous when you're moving away from the book, I think.
Yeah, for sure. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something really interesting. Oh. So in the book, how do they reforge Narsil?
I believe they reforge it at Rivendell in the Fellowship, but I could be misremembering.
Oh.
Maybe not, though, because someone does come to... It's not Elrond who comes to Aragorn later. I forget who it is. Yeah, I'm not positive on that one. It's been a long time.
One of my favorite moments, though, him with the fucking sword is very sick.
Yes.
I guess with the like whole like reluctant king thing, it works a little bit better.
And it also works for Elrond's arc, which is like his renewed faith in man, and that it's not all hope is lost, and that, you know, he realizes he has a part to play, you know.
Also, spoilers, but he speaks to him in Elvish after he gives him the sword.
Yeah, he sure does.
Yeah, well, it's just like pointing to like what I was saying about Connor's just sitting here laughing at me like I'm not making a good point. It's him accepting him as like his sort of like son-in-law, you know, sort of been like, all right, man, like, you know, like here we are together. One.
Yeah, the familiarity there, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was nice, you know?
And like a father figure of sorts, because like Aragorn was partially raised at Rivendell.
Yeah, it's like when like some like gringo dude, you know, he likes like muchas gracias. I'm like, then muchas gracias, you know, and just like speak to him straight Spanish, you know. Acknowledge my Spanish learning gringo, you know. Shout outs to all of you. I appreciate the effort.
Shout outs to the Spanish learning gringos.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I'm always surprised by how many people have worked in kitchens for so long and speak like no Spanish.
Yeah.
But así es la vida, which is how you say la vie in Spanish.
Beautiful.
Truly beautiful.
Yeah, so Narsil reforged. We got Gandalf and Pippin riding. For whatever reason, it's one of the scenes, like, it's, you know, we've seen this kind of thing a bunch of times, just the beautiful landscapes and beautiful music, but I always remember this moment of them like riding across the river into the
Yeah.
border of Gondor and all that.
Nice little odd couple. Also with the reforging of the sword. Very epic,
Yes.
very slow-mo, good slow-mo.
Good slow-mo, yeah.
Looks fucking sick. And I just love Elrond kind of like arms folded behind his back staring on as they like the two guys fucking
Yeah. Part of me wants a little
ching.
more magic here because I feel like that's implied that there's some crazy like magic
Mysterious
weaving, but
magic.
it just looks like, regular blacksmithing.
Dude, that's the thing about magic, buddy.
It's
Mysterious.
hidden. It's mysterious.
Works in mysterious ways.
Like maybe just like blue flames coming out or something, like something a little
purple
bit
flames?
purple flames.
Yeah, I like. I actually do really like that. I think that's awesome. We have Minas Tirith,
Yeah.
City of Kings. It's so beautiful,
So
dude.
cool. I mean,
So
this
beautiful.
miniature, insane. What they did for this set.
Yeah, it is just like such a cool layout for like a city too.
Yeah,
like just
the different
huge,
rings.
like cliff, like this
Yeah.
skinny little platform
In
at
the
the
way
top.
that the what's the word for it? The layout of the city is like important to the structure of the film in the battles and like, retreating to the second layer. And so like setting all that up and like where everyone is good stuff.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. We have Gandalf riding into the city. I love there's these wide shots
Yeah.
of the different like layers, like you're saying, the different
Yeah.
layers of the cake and him running through in like wides, and then like the like more sort of like medium shots, which are still pretty wide, is like him like almost running people over
Yeah.
repeatedly.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wrote here so sick because it looks awesome.
Yeah. Pippin recognizes the tree. I love fucking Gandalf telling
Yeah, that's
Pippin.
fair.
Well, he mentions the tree of the king. Lord Denethor isn't the king. Denethor is Boromir's father. Don't mention Boromir's death. Don't mention Frodo in the ring. Don't mention Aragorn. Actually, just don't talk at all.
Best not to speak at all.
And of course, the way that the scene plays out is perfect, right?
Yeah, immediately it starts speaking basically.
Denethor, I love this performance. I love John Noble. He was in Fringe. I really like this actor. He just like, I see him and he just has this face that like, and this way that he holds himself that really like speaks to me. And I think he fucking kills it as
He's
Denethor.
really good. I have a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth with the movie version of Denethor because he is more humanized in the books. He's not so just like mustache twirling. Like he is extremely corrupted, but it is also like it's because of the Palantir, which isn't in the movie at all. But like he feels more like a Boromir type character in the books, and in the movie he's just like, I'm super evil.
Yeah, I get that for sure. I think I get the John Noble love kind of like
Carries over.
shortcut to like, oh shit, yeah, this guy, yeah, I can see, like I tell myself that I can see the hurt, and I do feel like you can.
There's a little bit of like the
I think there's a
tragic-
lot of
Yeah,
like there's
yeah.
a lot of like pain
Yeah.
behind everything he says.
It's true.
I totally get what you mean though. I wish there was a little like I wish he wasn't done quite as dirty.
Mhm.
I feel like he's done more dirty maybe than Faramir in a way.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Well, yeah. I mean, Faramir is just like such a bastion of good in the books. So like, yeah. But
again, like I said, watching the movie, like the last movie, I never really felt like, oh, Faramir's like being an evil, corrupted dude. It always just felt like he was acting out of the best interest. He just didn't understand everything. He didn't have the full context to act like.
Yeah.
But again,
Yeah,
whatever.
I think there's a line in the book from Faramir like where they're talking about the ring, and he's like, "I wouldn't pick this thing up if it was on the side of the road." Like he's just completely like
That's pretty good.
detested.
That's pretty good. I love that. That is really good. Yeah, John Noble, Australian guy. Sounds great. Looks great. I think he also has my least favorite part in the movie where he's like
Eating the
sloppily
tomatoes.
eating not just the tomatoes, like the meat and everything.
Yeah,
and
I like it.
But it's a
It's
really
thematic,
good scene.
yeah.
Really good scene. Yeah.
Holding the broken horn.
Holding that broken horn, and he wants to know why his son is dead.
Yeah, and of course it makes sense, like movie wise. But I'm always like, a little neat timing that he like just found out Boromir's died and he's holding his horn as they come in. But okay, sure.
I kind of picture he's been sitting there for
like months.
He's just sitting there like every day, just like holding it, like
Yeah.
depressed, and everyone's like, "Damn, dude, Denethor just fucking isn't doing shit,
Yeah,
dude."
which can fit because he's so corrupted and lost at this point.
Yeah. Again, I do wish that they had shown that
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
That,
I mean,
that
they
part
should
of him.
show he has the Palantir at least.
He has the Palantir.
Well, like one of them.
one of them.
Yeah.
How many Palantirs are there?
They don't know. That's why Gandalf's scared of him. You don't know who's watching.
Ooh.
Not all of the Palantirs are accounted for.
I love Pippin is like, dude, he died heroically. He died to save Merry and Pippin. I pledge my loyalty to you. Gandalf is like, Pippin, shut the fuck up. And then he
he
tells
hits him with his staff.
and he tells Denethor, there will be time to mourn later, bro. And he's like, where are the armies of Rohan? Send the word to Theoden. Light the beacons. And I love this line. You think you are wise, Mithrandir.
Yeah.
Yet for all your subtleties, you have not wisdom.
Yeah.
Very good.
And he's like, yeah, what does he say? Like, in one hand, you'd use me against a shield against your foes. With the other, you used to usurp my throne or whatever. Yeah.
Really good shit. It is also just the line of, do you think the eyes of the White Tower are blind? You know, like, he knows who rides with Theoden. It's Aragorn.
Dialogue is just so good.
Yes, and again, his delivery is so good because he just feels like one of these big, like, stage play, like, sort of, like, actors, and he's, like, giving it all he's fucking got.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on Pippin swearing fealty, because I have mixed emotions in a good way in this scene, where at first you're kind of like, oh, Pippin, you freaking fool, but there's such a like earnest desire to kind of try to pay Boromir back for saving his life, and I find that very sweet.
I think it's also like he's looking for redemption, like, because he knows he's been kind of like a fuck up in a way, and especially like with what happened with the Palantir, like in the movie.
True.
But I love the way that it's done with the music here, where he says, you know, there's this like epic climax as they're talking about like, I will not bow to this ranger from the north. And Gandalf tells him, you can't deny the return of the king.
Yeah.
And Denethor says, the rule of Gondor is mine. Music cuts out and no others. So good.
Yeah, and I love how much Gandalf just challenges him here. Like, there's no cowing Gandalf. Like, he's gonna speak his mind, and he's not afraid of what you're gonna do about it.
Yeah, he'll tell it to you like it is, honey.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah, he will snap in a Z formation, and he will let you know how it is, honey. Gandalf swinging his pipe.
Man, so many good scenes, man. I love them talking at night, looking out across the fields.
The way it kind of gets tied into like the other scene, like
really
later on
good.
of like Smeagol, Frodo, and Sam.
Yeah, I think well, that was like, you know, not an issue necessarily, but something that I think can be a little clunky in the Two Towers is the interweaving of the plots. I think it's like done really good in Return of the King, where it's constantly like cutting back and forth between things, but it's all like just perfectly building the same tension. I think in Two Towers there's a lot more of mixed like
parallel action,
but a lot of times it's like, all right, we're at Battle of Helm's Deep. Now we're hanging out with the Ents. Like, there's not the same level of tension here. Where in Return of the King, it feels like there's a bunch of tension, and then it cuts over to a bunch of tension, and then, like, you know, it just feels better.
I think also the use of,
more
like,
cohesive.
The visual aspects, I think, helps that cohesion.
Yeah.
Because, like, the way that the lights, like, of the fucking,
what's it called? I have it written here. Minas Morgul.
Minas Morgul. Yeah, the way that like shines later on, like, and it like attracts their eye to it, and like seeing the different reactions. I think again that like just helps make it feel so much more cohesive, like you're saying.
Totally. Yeah, and Gandalf's kind of mocking Pippin for a citadel of the Gondor.
Yeah, because he's saying it's strictly a ceremonial position, right? Like, I'm not gonna have to fight anyone, and Gandalf's like, I don't know, buddy.
Yeah, I like this line. It's the deep breath before the plunge.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Yeah, just the feeling. I'm always a huge fan of this in storytelling, just this feeling of the oncoming storm.
And Pippin does, like, such a great job of, like, putting it in such a blunt way. Like, I don't want to be in battle, but, like, waiting to be in a battle is even worse.
Yeah. Yes, Gandalf, if there's hope, and Gandalf says, there's never much hope.
Only a fool's hope.
Yeah, good line.
Very cute, yeah. And then Gandalf explains, he gives a little exposition here about the Haradrim and the mercenaries from the coast who've joined Sauron.
And we get a little flash of each of them, and the Oliphaunts.
Yeah, and if Osgiliath falls, that's the last defense. And Pippin says something about how, like, well, you know, we have the White Wizard. That has to count for something. And Gandalf looks uncertain.
Yeah.
And Pippin's like, what the heck is up, bro? And then this is where we have the sort of introduction of, like, the fucking monster of the week, the
Witch King of Angmar.
The Witch King of Angmar.
Sick name. I love his awesome helmet design. He looks so cool in this movie with his freaking flail.
He's played by the same guy who plays Gothmog, who's the like deformed orc with the fucked
Oh,
up hand, who's
yeah.
like the like leader.
Interesting, because
Yeah.
they're in a scene or two
They're
together.
in a
Yeah.
yes. Well, he's commanding him.
Yeah.
Also, I before he even shows up, I just want to point out Gothmog already being sort of he gets set up as this sort of like the Urukai in like the first movie, like the face of like the leader of like the orcs. I was curious if he was in the book at all.
I don't recall. I think that we do get some like captain's name, so he probably
Yeah.
is in there.
Because Gorbag is another one. Gorbag is the one who takes Frodo later on.
So a funny story about Gothmog. He so Weinstein Studios or whatever his production company was like one of the major producers for Lord of the Rings. And apparently like Peter Jackson and some of the crew like despised him, and so they modeled his.
Wait, why would they hate him?
they modeled his face, Gothmog's face, after Weinstein.
As soon as you mentioned Weinstein and Gothmog, I was like, yeah, I see it.
It's just such a good dig.
Yeah, fuck that guy, dude.
Yeah. I mean, this is even before all the scandals came out. Yeah, and we got Frodo and crew pulling up on Minas Morgul, the Dead City. We got the secret stairs. I love how scary the stairs look.
Yeah, but again, we have this cool thing that we love in movies where we have Gandalf saying like the Witch King of Anmar, and he says like Minas Morgul is his lair, and then we cut to them there.
Yeah. And I got to point out with the Witch King, we critique this in Fellowship of the Ring, but I do think the Witch King is really undercut by how handily Aragorn kicked his ass in Fellowship, which is not in the books, but like
Also, Eowyn just like slices that thing's head off like in like 3 hacks.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean I'm into that. Yeah.
No, I'm into it too, but it like really kind of like undercuts or like, you know,
Undercuts the strength of the dragon, you mean, or
yeah.
I don't know. That works for me because we've seen them do so much damage, and it's like the bravery it would take to make those slices would be so rare. So like it works for me.
That's true.
Frodo being drawn towards the gates. Again, just like getting called. I mean, like until the ring's destroyed, like Frodo's having a bad time.
Yeah.
Like he's already been having a bad time, but like from here on out, he's just having a real bad time.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I also just want to shout out the look of the secret stairs.
Yeah.
Looks so fucking cool.
It's awesome. It looks terrifying. And Minas Morgul looks amazing.
Yeah, Minas Morgul
the
looks
green,
great.
The green glow. There's a lot of lore with Minas Morgul and like how, because it used to be like a kingdom capital, and like a lot of dark stuff has happened at this place. Yeah, when we get the eruption of light.
Yeah.
And I love the sound that there's like this scream that comes along with the light. Again, the sound design is perfect.
Yeah, super well done. You know, we have Gandalf and Pippin seeing it from the balcony, which again I was pointing out helps kind of connect everything.
Yeah, and I love how like scared Pippin looks, and you just get like the reassuring hand from Gandalf on the shoulder. Or no, I think he like kind of takes him in his arms a little bit. I forget exactly, but just like such a warm moment that like is the themes of this story, right?
Yeah, for sure. Friendship, hope, love.
Yeah.
The Witch King perches atop the gate and shrieks, and Frodo can feel the blade again in his shoulder, and we see the gates opening and the armies marching out of Minas Morgul. And then I love Sam and Frodo fucking hiding right behind the rock, and like this whole army.
Yeah.
That like. Again, this is like the guy that they're looking at. Like those close calls when done well or interestingly in a movie are always kind of like fun, right?
Yeah, and just the great like camera angles and stuff where you get this big like above bird's eye view shot of the army marching out and the Witch King and everything. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks really good.
And that line from Gandalf, "We come to it at last, the great battle of our time."
The board is set. The pieces are moving.
Very good.
Gandalf rushing through the city. He needs Pippin to go and light the beacon. I also love how he just tells him, "I need you to do something. You must not fail me." Then like looks up, and we know he needs him to light the fucking fire.
I have always laughed at this scene because there's a great meme of like you when you're 10 and your mother's already in the line at the store, but she forgot something. "Go, you must not fail me." And it's Pippin running away.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, then we got the orcs floating up.
Yeah, they're arriving on the boats to Osgiliath. Faramir telling his troops to get to the river, and they they pretty quickly like overrun Osgiliath. Some great like shots in the battle though,
Yeah.
Also, like, I love seeing like Faramir like holding as they all like run past him.
Yeah, I've always been a little like, again, it's one of those like tactics thing where I'm like, this doesn't seem like the best way to, because as soon as you start attacking, now you got orcs on both sides of you. So like, I don't know, it seems like you might have been able to do this better, but like it is cool.
Yeah, I
cinematically.
assume there's multiple layers
Yeah.
of like soldiers, but again, they're also like, I think the chances of them winning this are pretty fucking
Yes,
thin.
I think, yeah, me too. But and yeah, I think the idea is they're stretched so thin, and like that's why they're taken unaware.
Yeah.
So like they're just kind of, this is a last minute kind of like, oh shit, let's get there and ambush them.
Yeah, for sure.
Um.
Pippin gets up and lights that beacon.
Yes, in one of the like most iconic sequences in the
Yeah,
series.
all of the light, like all of the
So
different
good.
like beacons being lit, a bunch of amazing like wide shots of the landscape, and I love how in some of them you can just barely see the fire
Yeah.
lighting in like the distance.
It looks great.
Very
I love
cool.
It so
I just
much.
love the system too.
Yeah,
Of like
this is a real thing. It was one of the emperors of the Byzantine Empire who set this up to warn the country if the Persian Empire was attacking. Not Persian Empire, whatever empire was that. Yeah, I forget the name. It was like a Arab empire, but yeah, very cool.
very cool. I love it. Yeah, and it totally makes sense. Like because it works. It works. It's
Oh,
very
yeah?
good.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Justinian was the emperor. Good stuff. Justinian's a fascinating emperor. He also built the, what is it called in Turkey? The Sophia. I forget that huge, beautiful.
Hagia Sophia.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and then we get Aragorn scene, the last beacon lit, and the music's so good. This sweeping kind of building to this climax of him busting through the door.
Is it the Seljuk Turks or the Ottoman Turks, perhaps?
Yeah, I think the Ottoman. Maybe. Wait. This might be before that actually. I forget. I want to say it's like the Abbasid Empire or something, but I just can't remember.
Connor, not a true history guy.
I guess not.
Not a true history guy.
Guess not. Yeah, we get
Stolen valor. Stolen history guy valor.
we get, yeah. So the
Aragorn sees the beacon that's
Yeah.
lit from Edoras, and he runs up to the palace.
beacons of Gondor lit, and I love just like this long kind of like, what's he gonna say? What's he gonna say to? And Rohan will answer.
I started crying, dude, when he said this.
Oh, really? I love that.
Yeah, I was like, wow, dude. Like, I think like on this rewatch, Bernard Hill like
Yeah, I love
like
him.
criminally underrated as
He's really
Theoden. Like, I
good.
think this is such a good performance.
Yeah. I mean, he's beloved as Theoden, for sure. But yeah,
I mean, yeah, I think, but I think like the average viewer of this movie is not like walking away like thinking about him,
Bernard Hill. Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace.
or just even like I mean, you might like I don't know. I just like such a strong moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I like another great moment for like, I think it kind of shows them all getting ready to leave, and we get like Theoden kind of reflecting on like what they're riding into, and there is this kind of sense I probably will not return, which I think is all very like his whole character arc. I think is really powerful.
Dude, spoiler alert, he fucking dies.
No. Yeah, the Rohirrim ride out in full strength. Again, the theme every time, so freaking good.
Very good, yes.
And then we get the cuts of, Osgiliath battle. And I like that it's now morning. Like the battle's been going all night. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, there is the moment with they do set up that they have 2 days to muster the people. On the third,
Right.
they ride for Gondor.
Right.
They're trying to get everyone to Dunharrow. Eowyn also, saying that she's gonna ride with them to the encampment, and then Aragorn pointing out that she has a sword.
Right.
And then we do see like Merry riding on his like little pony,
Cute.
which I think is a good setup for later on, where people just keep telling him, "You can't fight in this fucking war,
Yeah.
dude."
I love that this is in the book too, but just like, yeah, that Eowyn and Merry like have this kind of common,
You can't be part of this.
yeah, this thing they're trying to overcome. And as Eowyn says later, like, why can't he fight for the ones he loves? you
Yeah,
know?
That's
And,
great. I love
it's
it.
really good stuff. Yeah, we get the Nazgul coming in every time they sweep in on their dragons, dude. It's just so hype.
Yeah, fucking scary, dude.
It's sick. The music's always great too. Yeah, we get the orc boss. What's his name again?
His name is Gothmog.
Gothmog.
Yeah, they gotta fall back to Minas Tirith, dude. They cannot hold.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. very cool battle. And then yeah, we get Gothmog slain his right hand man, Faramir's right hand man. I never caught his name. But sad moment. He was a good guy. It seemed like.
Yeah.
Yeah. The age of men is over. Now is the time of Orc.
Yeah. And we have the men trying to ride back as the three Nazgul are picking them off.
One of my favorite scenes.
Yeah, Gandalf riding out to meet them, and the angelic voice in the fucking score as he like casts his spell that scares them away.
Yeah, one of my favorite moments in the whole series. I always forget how short of a moment is, but I think that makes it so much sweeter. And I think like when we were talking about like the ambiguousness of the magic, this is like the scene I think of the most, where I'm just like the awe, the power of like Gandalf and like the good in this world overcoming in this moment, and just like so perfectly framed by the riding horses and the dragons fleeing from the light, and the music is just, I love it.
It's super badass.
Really, really
it's
good.
It's really quite lovely. And
I even wrote here, I got chills. I get chills during this scene pretty much every time.
And then they're opening the gates for to the survivors of Osgiliath.
Yep.
And Faramir, saying to Gandalf, of course, calling him Mithrandir, saying that they broke through their defenses. And then Faramir looking at Pippin weird, and Gandalf realizing that he's seen a hobbit recently.
Yeah, good
and
moment.
He said, not 2 days ago.
Yeah, the hope immediately followed by despair. Where he's like, the pass of Cirith Ungol.
Cirith Ungol. Yeah. What a name, dude. Also, Morgul Vale. A lot of cool name shit. And obviously, come on.
Master names, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, Smeagol Deagle.
Smeagol Deagle. That's really good. That's funny, dude. You're good at this, dude.
Thanks, man. We should start a podcast or something.
No, we should end the podcast. Really, just joking. We got 2 more solid hours of content. Don't worry.
Probably.
Frodo and company climbing up the insane stairs.
Yeah.
I love how you can see the armies still marching off,
just
like
how
in the
steep
distance.
The stairs are too. They
how
did
far they are too from like the ground.
And just the little flecks of light from the torches below.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, really, really good. And we have this moment where Smeagol is tempted by the ring, but Sam, being kind of aggressive, like prompts him to like. It seems in the scene to like, no, let me just save Frodo.
Well, he's reaching for the ring, and then he turns that into grabbing his hand. He's like, what's your deal, man?
Yeah, he's like, hey, man, why are you being so mean?
Such a good manipulation. I love how, like you said, cunning.
I think this is where Smeagol says, I understand your burden is very heavy.
Yeah.
Sam doesn't get it, but he wants the ring.
Very soon he will ask for it.
Yeah, fuck,
Beautiful
man.
play. That's like his like check move. Like, now I got your king in check.
Yeah, what a bastard, dude. Yeah. And then the way he fucking... like Frodo looks at Sam at the end of that scene where you're like, oh my god, what a bastard.
Yeah, perfect.
Back to Osgiliath, where they're gonna send forth all the legions.
Yeah, the Witch King.
Yeah, slay them all.
The way he just looks so cool on his dragon on top of the ruins. I love it.
Yeah, and Gothmog is like, what are we gonna do about the wizard? And the Witch King is like, I will break the wizard.
Okay, another scene. I'm really annoyed that they removed from the non-extended. We do get a showdown in the extended between the Witch King and Gandalf, and he like shatters his staff. So like his power is greater than Gandalf.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
And then that is the moment the horns start blowing of Rohan arriving. So like he's about to basically kill Gandalf, and he's pulled away by the horns.
That's fucking sick. That's really good shit.
Why would you cut that out? That's great.
We're on the walls of Minas Tirith, and the soldiers are asking about when Rohan will come, and Gandalf says, courage is the best defense you have now. Damn.
Yeah.
What a fucking thing to say.
Yeah, for real.
Pippin taking his oath, Denethor being hella creepy and making him kiss the ring, and then sitting down to eat.
Which is something I made you guys do in one of the D&D campaigns. I was thinking of this scene. Just some asshole lord wanting everyone to kiss his ring.
Yeah, I mean, it was a common practice back in the day, you know. I'm not bothered by it. I don't even actually remember what you're talking about.
Fair.
Unfortunately for me, I wish I did remember what you were talking about. So, Denethor tells Faramir, he's like, bro, you just abandoned Osgiliath like that? I mean, your brother held it for so long. I don't know. I think you should probably... You gotta go back and retake it, you know?
What a good scene for Faramir, man, just in terms of, like, emotional depth and the pain, and, I don't know, it's so relatable.
If I return, father, think better of me.
I will
And-
depend on the manner of your
Oh
return.
yeah, he's still
bro.
salty, dude. It's like,
Well,
what the
and
fuck?
that line, you wish now that I had died and Boromir had lived. Yes, that is what I wish. Or I
Yeah,
wish
dude.
that, like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
this
bro.
is fucked up, dude. It's fucked up.
Really dark. And just like, yeah, powerful, you know? I think, yeah,
It's
It's really good for
painful.
Faramir.
It's super painful.
For
Yeah,
his
it
character.
hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts to see that happen.
Yeah.
We got the Smeagol, Frodo, Sam crew, SFS sleeping again. A lot of shots of them sleeping,
Yeah.
which I dig. I'm not. It's not a dig against the movie. I kind of because it shows like
How exhausted they are.
that's not what I was gonna say. What I was gonna say is it really shows kind of how boring or not necessarily, but like how very
Mundane travel.
mundane. Yes,
Yeah.
how mundane their journey is, but still so exhausting and so
Yeah.
like.
Like mundane, but also you're sleeping on this horrifying
Yes,
cliffside above
yes,
an,
yes.
an endless marching army of orcs.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly. I think it's a cool little juxtapose right
yeah,
there.
yeah, for sure.
And then we see Sam wakes up and stares at Smeagol. He falls back asleep, and then Smeagol was pretending to sleep.
Yeah.
I hate this part. I fucking hate this part.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
It
Yeah.
fucking sucks. It sucks so fucking much. But basically, Smeagol furthering his plan by crumpling up the bread
Again,
all over
really
Sam.
clever plan.
Yeah, chucks it over the hill. I mean, dude, I'm a chubby guy. Pisses me off, dude. Pisses me off, dude. But yeah, Sam wakes up and is like, "What the fuck are you doing, sneaking around?" And then I love how Smeagol tries to guilt trip Sam. He's like, "Dude, you're always being so mean to me."
Sneaking,
And-
sneaking.
And the way he answers is very good, very like sardonic response. And Sam just like, "Okay, I'm sorry, bro. You're right. But what were you doing?" And then
Sneaking.
and he wakes. He's like, okay, whatever. He wakes up Frodo. They gotta move on. Checks the bag for bread. There's
It's
no
also
more bread.
it's always dark here. So
Yeah.
we've gone from the beginning of the movie where it's like it's getting darker and darker. No, now we're in night.
Yeah, which is what it's like living in during the winter in the Pacific Northwest.
That's right.
Very relatable for us. I don't really mind it. I do hear people talking about it constantly. So I guess that it bothers me because of that. Because it already bothers me a little bit, but not that much. But then everybody complains about it, and then you're like, man, all we're gonna talk about is the weather and how dark it is for like the next 2 months. Okay, fine. At least we're sitting here talking about film analysis on a beautifully sunny day.
Yeah, it's really nice here today.
Really nice.
Yeah,
but we're gonna stay. We're gonna
little
stay
foggy,
inside all day.
golden. Yeah, that's right.
We're gonna stay inside
Talking
all
about
day.
Lord of the Rings, baby.
Talking about Lord of the Rings.
Smeagol hates nasty elf bread. Because Sam's like accusing him of eating it.
He's accusing him of the truth. Well, he's accusing him of
throwing
doing
it.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's accusing him of having gotten rid of it somehow.
Yeah.
But Frodo's like, yeah, you're right. You don't eat it. And then he has the crumbs on his, that he's put on his, and just the way that he just wipes them down. Oh God, dude, fucking pisses me off so much. And I Sam attacks fucking Gollum, and Frodo stops him, and Sam apologizes.
Well, he collapses because he's so weary already, and this he can't.
Yeah, well, he pulls him off first,
Yeah.
and then he falls down, and Sam is like, "Oh no, are you okay, buddy?"
I could carry it for a while. Carry it for a while.
Yeah,
I could share the load.
Yeah, it's
the
pretty good.
load, The load.
yeah. I do love the way that before we get to that, he does say it's that Gollum, this place,
Yeah.
that thing around your neck, and then Frodo already
Yeah.
looking suspiciously at him, and then it's this sort of confirmation bias. Now he says the thing, and yeah, well done scene. I love the editing of it.
Yeah.
I love that sort of trippy look to it, where we get this very sort of emotive style of filmmaking during this part.
And just the it really puts you into Frodo's headspace of just how disoriented he is by everything.
Yeah, absolutely. And he screams at him to get away. And Gollum is like, "See, bro, I told you he wants it." And then Sam is like, "Yo, dude, Smeagol, fuck off." And then Frodo is like, "Nah, dude, actually, you're the one who's gonna fuck off.
Yeah.
And me and my new homie Smeagol are gonna go off, and we're gonna make our own mixtape together. Fuck you."
This part hurts, man. And
It's
Sean
tragic.
Astin's performance here, as
And the
he-
way the Shire theme is woven in,
Yeah,
while
man.
they're it's so tragic.
yeah,
But there is that tinge of hope, though.
Yeah.
There's this very vague tinge
Yeah.
of hope, but
Yeah.
still, it feels so much more heartbreaking, and they're playing with you when you hear that little theme come in.
Yeah, as much as I like I said earlier, I I don't like how Frodo's character is diminished by turning on Sam, but it is really effective, like
Super
storytelling.
effective, yeah.
Yeah.
Really well done. Back in Minas Tirith, we have soldiers riding down through the streets, Faramir amongst
It's a
them.
beautiful moment.
Yeah, the crowd throwing the flowers, handing them to the people, and these guys knowing they're going to their certain doom, you know?
Yeah, yeah. It's really pretty.
And I love Gandalf trying to stop him. Don't throw your life away like this. And then him realizing how Faramir is like set on this and telling him, you know, as like your father loves you. He will remember it before the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Powerful stuff.
And,
And then this whole man, this movie's so good. This whole sequence here of the horses riding.
This is maybe one of the best sort of like juxtaposition editing things, because you have to think about when they're filming John Noble and fucking Billy Boyd sit like in that room, they're not watching footage of the guys riding out to their like death, right? Like it's just this like thing of like actors being so like connected to the motivations of their characters.
Yeah.
And so it is so beautifully done. And the way
Billy Boyd wrote this song, and so they added this in for him.
That's awesome. I love that.
Amazing song. Like killed it, bro.
Yeah. It's great. He has a great voice.
Yeah.
Sounds really good. I love the whole exchange between him and Denethor. Like, can you sing? And I think that you see this side of Denethor that I kind of like appreciate, where he's like, why wouldn't your song be good enough for my hall?
Yeah, I took it as he kind of took it as a slight, like, what, my hall isn't good enough for your songs, like.
It felt to me, I think, in the moment, especially because he is, I think, in the, like looking for comfort. Like he is actually like reaching out in this way when he asks him to sing, and I think he is kind of being like reassuring, like, no, sing your song for me. Like you are good enough to like be here, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. And just has the nastiest little meal of all time here.
Yeah, well, what's really well done is that like just the way that they're like riding into it, their faces, like how like resolute they are in this moment, and that you never see them fall. Just the volley being tossed, and then the red dripping from Denethor's lips,
really
just like the blood that stains his hands, the blood of his own son, you know?
Yeah.
And then Pippin fucking crying, dude. That just gets me. I started crying during the scene as well.
It's beautiful. It's really, really beautiful. The way the ominous music starts to kind of go under him singing too.
Yeah.
And then it just all ends in silence and him just eating. Like, really powerful.
And then Gandalf alone sitting, contemplating, and the way that you hear the violin has picked up the melody that Pippin was singing earlier.
And he's just like sitting in the shadows too.
He's like seems like he's in like some back alley of like a market or something.
Just had to take a seat and think about life and how tragic all this is.
Random spot.
Yeah, I love that. Just a great moment. Because it's like. That's something you will see all the time in especially adaptations where they'll just like use the same set over and over because it's cheaper, and like what are you gonna care? Like you could be sitting at a million locations we've seen, but instead they show like some like really like well designed like
random little corner
bespoke little thing they set up here, and I think that's awesome. And it's like those little details that really elevate so much of what the movie's doing.
We see the trolls moving the huge siege towers over the bridge. Looks very sick. Theoden and Aragorn arriving at Dunharrow with all the troops. We hear 500 men from the Westfold, 300 from Fenmarch. Where are the riders from Snowbourne? None have come.
Yeah.
And the sick fucking wide of the path carved up the mountain. And then I love how we cut from that wide to now them looking over that same cliff.
Great.
It looks great.
Yeah. And this just occurred to me now, but Snowbourne, I don't remember this from the books at all, but immediately when I hear that, I think, these are like mountain folk in Rohan. And I was like, right now, I'm like, oh, this is a really symmetrical thing with the dead. They're like these people in the mountain, or like they fled to the mountains instead of fighting the Great War. Now we got what is potentially another like mountain folk who are just like, no, we're gonna stay safe in our mountains and hide from all this.
Yeah. And we hear 6,000 spears, half of what he'd hoped for. 6,000 won't break the lines of Mordor. And Theoden says more will come, but Aragorn says we're running out of time, and we have to leave tomorrow morning.
Yep. Ride it down.
Cool shit with the horses are restless and the men are quiet. And we set up this whole thing of like Dimholt, the door under the mountain, and Éomer saying that the mountain is evil, you know?
Yeah. No one
Point-
ever returns from there.
Yeah, pointing to this sort of lore that we're not sure of, you know?
Yeah, anytime you hear in a story, no one's ever returned from there, you know exactly where we're going.
Yeah, we're going there for sure. Yeah, because I mean, you even see Aragorn looking down the path and he sees the ghost of a king.
Yeah. Yeah. Do they? I just kept writing down ghosts for them. They give us their name, right? Or is it just these men that?
The Men of the Mountain?
Yeah, I feel like they have a name. Like definitely in the book. I just
Yeah,
can't
they
recall.
probably do for sure. Then it's nighttime. We mentioned the scene earlier on. Eowyn's armoring up Mary.
Love this.
And he says that he like goes to whip out his sword and he's like, it's not even sharp. And she's like, that won't do. So she sends him off
To the smithy.
Yeah,
Very
to go
cute.
get his sword
Their
sharpened.
relationship's great.
And it's fucking Gamling and Eomer are both like laughing at him, and they're like, hey, he's not gonna be able to do anything. And this is where she says that line that you pointed out. You know, he has just as much right to fight for those he loves. Love it. I think it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
love
it's so much like you know, one of your main themes, or our main themes, the power in the little things in the world, right?
Yeah. Scale, and the ability of like little things to affect big things, you know, and the way that big things affect like little things. But yeah, I love it, and I think it's great because the way that the payoff happens with her and like the Witch King and Mary helping in that moment as well. It's all great shit.
Absolutely.
We got a fucking cloaked figure riding up the mountainside. Aragorn having this spooky dream about Arwen and the Even Star crashing to the ground.
Yeah, which is another cut scene from later in the extended after the big battle before they march on the gates of Mordor. Aragorn like confronts Sauron through the Palantir, and like it's such an intense confrontation that he like drops the necklace.
Oh, wild.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that. So, well, I guess I do because I have seen it. I just didn't remember that. But yeah, he wakes up knife in hand and he's been summoned by King Theoden. As soon as he gets there, Theoden is with the cloaked figure. Theoden leaves. It's Elrond. And he's basically like, bro, you're going to get stomped by Sauron.
Yeah, and Arwen's dying, by the way. Good luck.
Yeah. Also, like, he tells him, dude, there's the Corsairs that are coming from, like, the sea. Like, you're going to get attacked on more than one front, my guy.
Yeah.
And and he tells him, you're outnumbered. You need more men.
Those who dwell in the mountain.
Yeah. And he's like, dude, those are murderous traitors.
And I love the wind blowing through right when he says that. Like I like just the presence,
creepy, yeah.
of the mountain is cool.
They answer to no one. They will answer to the King of Gondor. And then he gives them Anduril, Flame of the West. And I love the way
Forged from the shards of Narsil.
Yeah, and I love the way that Sauron. He says Sauron will not have forgotten the sword of Elendil.
Yeah.
All the shit they say is so fucking sick.
It is.
I'm like, hell yeah, he won't, dude. You fucking remind him, bro.
Yeah, and the music and him
this
pulling it out.
beautiful climax.
Become who you were born to be.
Yeah.
And I love like you said, they start speaking Elvish here, and Elrond's basically like, I have faith in man.
He says, I give hope to men. And Aragorn says, I keep none for myself.
Yeah, which is really good. Like
Really badass.
Yeah.
Really badass. And then Aragorn's gonna leave. Eowyn is like, why are you leaving? And he's like, why'd you come here? And she's like, you know why I came here. And he's like,
do you not know?
yeah. And he's like, yeah, sorry.
This is a good way to turn a girl down, though.
It is but a shadow and a thought that you love. It's pretty harsh. I cannot give you what you seek. I feel like it's pretty harsh. Like, it's also like he's been like, I think, leaning into it a little bit. You know, he's been playing with her emotions.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a good way to say no to a girl.
I guess I just like dropping poetry on people.
Yeah, it's not practical.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you use poetry, you're speaking to a deeper truth, but sometimes it just feels like you're using like language
words
to
to
occult
cover,
things, you know? And I think that's the thing where I'm like, like maybe just clear communication is always the best sort of recourse in these situations, but still really, really, really beautifully put.
Yeah.
And she seems super heartbroken, and I get it. I mean, he's a catch.
He's like the catch, honestly.
I don't know. There's some other people I'd like to explore.
Like
in this
Sam?
Sam, dude. Sam Wise, for a reason. I love Gimli stopping Aragorn. He's like, where you going? He's like, you can't come this time, bro. And Legolas is like, come on, dude. You know how stubborn dwarves are, bro. We're coming with you, dude. And I love that he relents. And he's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, come along.
Yeah, good stuff. And then we got the men seeing them leave and a lot of doubt and like they're like, we can't do this.
Yeah,
Like, where's he going?
Yeah, Gambling is the one who says he's leaving because he has no hope, and Theoden is like, no, he's leaving because he has to.
'Cause he must.
Yeah, and then Gambling is like, we can't win. We have too few men, and Theoden is like, sure, but we're still gonna fight.
Yeah, we will meet them in battle nonetheless.
Very cool.
Yeah. Well, also just like a ballsy thing for your leader to say, like, no, we can't beat them, but we're gonna fight.
I love it. It's great.
Yeah.
Eowyn's watching the sunrise. Theoden comes to her and
another great
tells her,
scene, man.
you know, I'm leaving. Like, you were gonna take my place in the
I
Golden
love
Hall.
how they do their relationship. It's
Yeah.
really tender.
It is really tender. I think it is funny, especially with all the memes that we have these days about like telling women to smile more. I love that she's like, "What else do you want? Like, what other duty?
That's
you
funny.
know?" And
I
he's like,
didn't think
"Duty,"
about that,
and he's
but
like,
I do love it.
and he's like, "I would see you smile."
Yeah, I find it so sweet.
It is very sweet, but I think having that context,
Yeah.
it gives it a funny little.
Well, he tells her like, "Hey, you're the heir. Like, if I don't
Yeah.
make it back, like, you are in charge now." And like he sees that this does not please her, and he's like, "No, I don't want anything from you. I just want to see you happy, girl."
Yeah, the smile I think also is what he's saying is I want. Like, you need to have hope if you're
Yeah.
going to lead as well. I think it is kind of what the smile is really more of like a metaphor for is like
Interesting.
less like I think it is like kind of like I want to see you happy, but I think part of it is also like I need you to like have hope
Yeah.
because that's like really the big ask of
Yeah.
what being the leader is, you know?
Yeah, he has that line too. I like, "You shall live to see these days renewed." Just pretty, and just like the way he takes her hands, it's just like, I don't know, really good father-daughter moment.
Yeah, but she is his niece.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. So Gimli asking, which happens I feel like a lot in these movies. Gimli's like, "What the fuck is going on here?" Legolas is like, "Let me break it down for you, bro." And he's telling him of the lore of the men of the mountain. They swore an oath to the last king of Gondor. When he called for them, they did not come to his aid. They fled, vanishing into the darkness of the mountain.
Isildur's curse.
Yeah, they're cursed to never rest until they fulfill their pledge.
I like the little poem that they have on their gates that they keep repeating. The way is shut.
Yeah,
The way is made by the dead, and the dead keep it.
yeah, good shit, great shit. They roll up to the skull door, and Gimli has a great line. The very warmth of my blood seems stolen away.
Yeah. Well, I really like how like they're all scared. Aragorn goes in first because of course he's a badass. Legolas is like, "All right, I'm following," and then Gimli being like, "An elf will go under a mountain when a dwarf dare not.
Yeah.
I'll never hear the end of it."
Also, the horse is being scared off first. You know,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that was
This
always
is
a good trope.
Brago, yeah, this is the one that saved him from the river in Two Towers.
Hell yeah. And then we see all the people, the Rohan basically like riding off in the morning, and Theoden telling Merry that none of his riders will take him on as a burden, but Merry's like, "But I want to fight, man." And then we see Eowyn in disguise scooping him up, and then this huge, massive riders like in this huge wide just setting off to war.
Yeah, I love her grabbing him here and him just being like, "My lady." In the books, she kind of does the Mulan thing, which she is doing here, but they couldn't hide that she's a woman. But in the books, it's kept secret who she is. It's like she's just like kind of pretending to be a man, and Mary doesn't know who she is. So she must be very good at impersonating a man.
Nice.
Yeah, you don't get the reveal that it's her until she faces the Witch King.
Right, for sure. Got the orc armies marching towards Minas Tirith with their huge siege towers. Get the huge trolls sounding these like immense drums. I think that's so like really cool to like picture just like how those sound on like a fucking battlefield. Like like this bass drum that's being carried by like this creature that's like the fucking size of like a small building, you know?
Yeah,
Very cool.
It's awesome.
Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli in the mountain. They get confronted by the King of the Dead. Who enters my domain?
Do not suffer the living.
Yeah, very cool scene.
You will suffer me.
Yeah, I love the way they're like fully surrounded, and you're like, what the fuck is gonna go on happen? The way the arrow goes through Legolas's arrow goes through the guy's head, but then when Aragorn fucking meets him, like parries him with his sword, how like the swords actually clash.
Yeah.
That line was broken. It has been remade. Very sick.
Good shit.
Back at the gate of Minas Tirith, we see Faramir being dragged in by his horse with 2 arrows in him. See more of these orcs setting up like their siege machines, their towers, their fucking like catapults that they have.
Before I forget, I do want to mention the extended has a whole thing here where the dead refuse them at first, and the place kind of collapses, and they think all hope is lost, and that's when they see the ship sailing by down the river, and they're like, "Well, we're screwed now." And then the king comes out and is like, "We'll fight for you." And when they do take the ships, that is Peter Jackson's cameo. That is cut from this version. Just wanted to call that out since I've been shouting out each of his cameos.
Then Faramir's body is being brought up to Denethor. They're telling him that none survived. We get a cut back to Gothmog, and he has this cool line: "Fear, the city is ripe with it."
Release the prisoners.
Yeah, and then
oh my god.
and then
bro.
the catapults like shoot the heads of the
This is
dead.
so metal. I love it.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up. Denethor immediately assuming that Faramir is dead.
Yeah, this has
His
always been a
line
bit
is
frustrating.
ended. Yeah, and Pippin's like, "No, he's still alive. He just needs
He's
medicine."
dead. My line is ended.
Yeah.
I do love this though when Gandalf just starts smacking the shit out of him after he starts telling everyone to retreat.
Yeah, to abandon their posts, and he retakes control of the army and is like, "Everyone, back to your posts." And we see, I like that, like the orcs and shit. They have their siege machines, but they have like catapults, and like Gondor has this sick trebuchet that they're using.
and they're
to, like,
using
huck
the
rocks.
rubble
Yeah.
from their destroyed city back at them, which is super cool. And yeah, just the way it looks, like all the catapult back and forth. I don't think I've really seen anything to that level and anything I can think of. Just like amazing destruction, amazing consequences for the weight of this battle, you know?
Pippin's wearing his little helmet. He looks great. Gothmog almost gets hit by a trebuchet as well because he keeps telling them to like hold their lines, and then
Yeah.
like he like takes a step like
I love
aside.
that and spits on it, yeah.
Then the Nazgul arrive, and you see everyone freak out from the screeching.
Oh yeah, this scene, man. The way they swoop in with the music and the horror of the Nazgul picking them. I love this sequence. It looks so good. It's
Yeah.
so powerful.
And then the like towers release the orcs onto the walls,
Yeah.
and Gandalf is fighting, very cool, with his like staff and his sword. And Pippin rolls up, and Gandalf is like, "Get the fuck out of here! There's no place for you." And I love Pippin so decisively fucking striking an orc down right before it fucking like strikes at Gandalf, and Gandalf looking at him and like acknowledging him as like
Guard of the Citadel, indeed.
yeah,
Yeah.
great shit.
Yeah. One thing that like a little again tactics nitpick thing. Like these are the warriors of Middle Earth, like the human warriors that have been fighting forever. And Gandalf telling them to not shoot at the towers and aim for the trolls has always felt like I guess you want to give a moment of Gandalf leading these guys, but it's always been a little silly to me that they wouldn't put that together themselves.
Yeah, meh, whatever.
Yeah, just little tactical things annoy me here and there since I'm a fan of history.
This is a fantasy world. This is not a world of history, brother. This is not the real world. Those arrows are magical, dude.
But as we discussed, like Tolkien, was a soldier, did write things in a very grounded way when it came to the fighting and stuff.
yeah, he was very familiar with a bow and arrow himself. But Smeagol and Frodo are at the mouth of the cave. Smeagol's encouraging Frodo to go in. And I love Frodo being like, "Wait a second, no, I don't like this. This is scary."
Yes.
And Smeagol tells me, "Well, you can go in or you can go back."
Before that, we also get Grond, which I write in all caps here, which is the freaking battering ram. And this is like to me feels like a big just like nudge nudge to the big fans of the books, because they do make a huge deal of this battering ram in the books and like this face on it and Grond and everyone like chanting and stuff, and I love how
He has
much
like a
design.
flaming wolf.
Yeah, they put so much attention around this battering ram, and that's just always been really funny to me.
As I was saying, we got Smeagol telling him he can go in or he can go back. Frodo's like, "I'm not gonna go back." And then Smeagol kind of like teasing him in the dark, like as Frodo kind of tries to find his way around.
This is such an effective sequence, I think, in Shelob's lair. Like the way the creeping violins come in, and the like Shelob, yeah, like you can tell it's digital, but it looks great still.
No,
Like,
Shelob looks awesome.
Yeah.
Shelob looks really, really good. And I think the fact that she's a bug helps her in that regard. But yeah, one of my favorite, I think, digital elements in all of these movies.
Yeah, because I remember Chamber of Secrets, the Harry Potter movie came out around the same time, and that also has a giant spider in it. Doesn't look nearly as good as Shelob. And yeah, I wanted to point out I read Tolkien's or a biography on Tolkien when I was a kid, and he was bitten by a black widow when he was a kid, and it almost killed him. So he had a lifelong fear of spiders. Why, yeah, this is such a pivotal horror moment.
But all of you out there, don't be irrationally fearful of spiders. Know that they are very helpful to our ecosystem.
Absolutely. Watch out for those black widows, though.
Yeah, look out for all those black widows.
I also just the lore around the spiders in the Silmarillion and stuff. Like the only creature that truly almost got Morgoth was like the mother of Shelob, like this massive black spider that
very cool story.
Before the world was lit by the sun and stars, the world was lit by these giant trees that the elves had took nurture of. And Morgoth came up with this plan to take.
Is that where the term the years of trees I think comes from?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Shelob, or sorry, not Shelob. I forget the Shelob's mother's name. But Morgoth has her like suck the nectar of life from these trees, and there's just like this age of darkness.
That's Ungoliant.
Ungoliant, yeah. And there's this part where Ungoliant basically like almost murders Morgoth because he won't give her the Silmarillions, and it's a great like evil destroying itself moment where he tried to use this giant monster, but it turned back against him, and then like an army of Balrogs come and save him.
Pretty cool, pretty badass.
Epic stuff. And she's just like a mystery too. She just like disappears somewhere in the world and you just don't hear from her again. So it's very creepy. Like her offspring still just like wandering the lands in certain places.
Yeah, this cave is very obviously creepy, but it takes Frodo a while to realize like what's going on. He starts to see the bones and stuff. I think it also speaks to like how out of it he like really is. Like he's not like fully within his like typical mental capacities.
Right. And the way Gollum slips away and the echo of his voice, you can't quite tell where he is, and he's getting even more disoriented by that. And then
eventually he calls out to him and he doesn't hear or see him anymore. And then we see the corpses that are wrapped up. I love Frodo wistfully saying, Sam.
Yeah.
Just like, fuck, I fucked up.
Yeah, well, he's like, it's sticky. What is it? And Gollum's just like, you'll see.
Yeah.
And then stops responding to him.
We cut to Sam climbing down the stairs, takes a tumble, finds the lambus bread, and I love that look on his face. He's angry, and he's like ready to fucking take action.
I love that we don't see him start going back. You just see him looking up with determination. Yeah.
Frodo stumbles around in Shelob's lair. He falls over like he loves to do in these movies.
And the score here, I think, is just perfect. Like, it sounds like a spider. Just this kind of climbing, dissonant, creepy violin scales. It's really, really good. Really effective.
I think the name Tarantella, from the Italian like folk dances, is comes from the word for like tarantula, or like they're related.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so you just made me think of that. They should have a little tarantella.
Can you imagine that in the scene?
No.
But yeah, this scene I think is so powerful. He remembers right before he sees Shelob.
Galadriel's like, "Yo, you got the light of Arendelle, my guy."
Yeah, I love this sequence. The way it lights up, and he speaks some line in Elvish. That's when he lights it up. That's when you see Shelob in the background, and I love at first how Shelob's just like hidden amongst the environment until you see it moving. Yeah, it's very unsettling. And him running from him, and he gets stuck in the web, and then this is when Gollum like sings a song to him, which is so unnerving.
The clear rhyme is like "You will be dead," but he says "eaten."
Eaten. Yeah,
pretty
he
funny.
Doesn't sing that part. Yeah,
pretty funny. It's pretty good. I do like that Frodo starts to like hack himself
I love
free.
the rage because he's just all fear and despair, but like seeing Gollum after you betrayed him and him singing the song to him, he's like, no, I'm not dying here. I'm gonna get you, you motherfucker.
Yeah, and then they start fucking like wrestling, and Frodo gets the upper hand on him.
Well, first he loses Sting as he's cutting through and fleeing from Shelob.
Yes,
which will
he
be
does.
important.
He loses Sting.
And the light. I forget exactly where.
The light falls, so he gets knocked back. The light falls out of his hand. Shelob, I think, knocks it away.
Gotcha.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just drops it, because I think actually
it might be when he gets caught in the web, he drops it.
Yeah, I think that later on it's Sam gets it knocked away from him.
Yeah.
But yeah, then he loses Sting. He loses all of his weapons.
I love Gollum. His acting is so intense here. The "not this time."
Yeah, he also like
So desperate.
he like is able to just get Frodo to stop him. Like he's able to stop Frodo as well by being like, "I'm sorry, dude. The Precious made us do it."
It wasn't us.
Yeah, and then Frodo does back up.
And I love this moment because the tragedy of this is that it's true. Like, it wasn't him. It was the Precious, but also like you can't trust him. Like, I just think that's such a poignant moment for me.
Frodo tells him too, "I gotta destroy him, man. I'm sorry," and that pisses him off. So then he attacks Frodo again and falls off the cliff.
Yep.
Which is foreshadowing, of course.
Yes, sir.
And Frodo's super sad. He's sorry. He's like, "I'm so sorry, Sam," and then he faints.
Yeah, just so exhausted. And again, just a beautiful choice here for him to just be back in the woods of Lothlorien and Galadriel, reaching
He's the
out
only
and
one who
pouring
can do
out.
it, you know?
If you do not find a way, no one will.
And I love that she just like helps him up like in this vision, and then the way it transitions back to him getting up on the cliffside next to Shelob's lair.
Yeah.
We see more of we see the orc army using their flaming battering ram.
Grunt. Just the emphasis on this, I don't know, it just cracks
And
me up.
Gandalf is gathering troops to meet them at the gate. Pippin sees Denethor leading Faramir. And then you hear the like, "No tomb for Denethor or Faramir. They will be burned like the heathen kings of old."
Yeah, interesting.
I wonder what heathen means in the context of Middle Earth.
Yeah, that's something I kind of always wanted more of, was just like the actual like religious practices of Middle Earth and stuff. I think he was uncomfortable. I'm just guessing. I feel like he didn't really, because there's the whole like, commandments about like not having fake gods and stuff. So I think it made him uncomfortable to like focus too much on the worship practices and stuff like that. That's just my guess. I don't know. But like we don't get too much of that, like are there churches in Hobbiton or what's going on?
Yeah, what is going on? The battering ram breaks through, and I love the line from Gandalf: "You are soldiers of Gondor.
Yeah.
No matter what comes through that gate, you will stand your ground." And of course, it's a group of armored trolls.
Yeah, I always laugh at this part, just the look on Gandalf's face after that line. Just like, no matter what. Oh, shit. Never mind.
Good shit.
Yeah, and just so epic, man. Gandalf rallying and just like the chaos of the trolls. And like, I think this is a moment where the music cuts out and it's just the violence and destruction of this chaotic battle. Just so epic. And we're back to Frodo.
He's making his way towards Mordor with Shelob sneaking up behind him.
Yeah, stalking him. So eerie, so creepy. He gets stung. We get the foam coming out of his mouth in the way like he just falls over and Shelob like catches him so like gently and starts wrapping him. So
yeah, the
freaking
worst
creepy, man.
part of the CGI of Shelob is CGI Frodo in her hand.
Mm-hmm.
I love the way it looks, like the way that she's spinning him, but when you first see him in her hand, there's like this sort of moment where they have to transition from like actual like fucking Elijah Wood to like a digital version of him, and then that version of him like really stood out to me, especially in contrast with the really well done Shelob. And I think maybe it's because like that asset is a lot like darker, and like Frodo has to have like a little bit of like more like light on him, or like be a little bit lighter colored. But anyway, the way she wraps him up, very cool, very creepy looking.
Yeah, and whatever nitpicks I have about Frodo sending Sam away, I feel like is made up for right here with him showing up. It's so good.
He's a hero, dude.
Man,
He's a
let
fucking
him
hero.
go, you filth. And just that line, "Come on and finish it." So good, man. I love this moment for him.
Yeah,
and
it's a great
really,
fight.
Great battle, man. I was saying how the Lurtz battle at the end of Fellowship, that's his name, right? The orc boss or whatever, might be the best fight in the trilogy, but this fight is really good. Like,
yeah,
the choreography
I like this
of
one
it,
more, I think.
Yeah, just like, it's super inventive. The way everything moves feels supernatural.
Yeah, again, like she knocks the light of Arendelle away. He like drops Sting. It's just him fighting her with his hands.
He's
but then
up
he's
against
able,
the cliffside. He rolls down her back, and
then he's able to like get the light of air. Like he's able to get Sting, stab her in the underside.
well, the way he's just like rolling away from the stings to grab the sword. Like, yeah, it's just
I
feels
love
super good.
the way he keeps avoiding it is really well done, and that he drives her back with the light of Arendelle, and that like he doesn't like kill her, he just like drives her back, which feels so much more realistic, right?
Yeah, and I like it just as this again, like these spiders, man, they're just lingering, like
Yeah.
who knows if this mother is out there somewhere still,
And Sam thinks that Frodo's dying. He says a very beautiful line where he
Oh,
says,
yeah.
"Don't go where I can't follow."
Oh, his performance. And
Yeah.
just so good.
And the way that he doesn't have time to fully process this, and he sees like Sting turn blue.
Yeah.
So he goes off to hide. Well,
Yeah.
he knows that orcs are coming.
And I just want to call out the last moment you get of Shelob pulling into that black hole with her legs like slipping back in. It's just like so perfectly creepy. I love it.
Very good. The orcs come up and they see Frodo's there. Sam is hiding, and you hear Gorbag say that Frodo's not dead.
Gorbag.
And
How'd
Sam's
you get all these names?
they're in the cast and crew. They're in the
That's great.
they're in the IMDb.
That's great.
I did some research. Sam's happy but also upset. I love that. Like he's like happy that Frodo's alive, but he's also upset with himself.
Yeah, and I love that they don't show him taking the ring.
No, they don't. You don't know until like later
They're
on.
reunited, yeah.
It's good shit as well.
Yeah.
Faramir, then we cut back to
The funeral.
Yeah, the funeral. We see the orcs carry Frodo off with them. Faramir, obviously alive as they're building the funeral pyre. You can like hear him like breathing and like kind of like and
Denethor is just completely gone at
yeah,
this point. Just
it's
mad
so
as a
creepy.
Mad Hatter, yeah.
So creepy, just the way he's like holding his son's face and Pippin walking
Pouring
up.
the oil over himself, yeah.
I think that's
Is that in a little bit?
That's in a little bit, yeah,
Okay.
because Pippin walks up screaming he's not dead, and then
Yeah.
Delanar drags him out,
yeah.
and he
Looks
says
great.
that he's released him from his
And Pippin's kind of running to get Gandalf.
looking for Gandalf, yeah.
And we got the the desperation of the battle here, where
Yeah.
the tides are really turning against them. The catapults still firing, crushing everything. The cityscape is like crashing around Pippin as he's running through the streets. The trolls are just wrecking everything, and
Yeah.
that's when we get the Gandalf shouting to retreat to the second level, and all the men pulling back. Just like really, really well done battle tension.
Also, Gothmog saying, "Kill everyone in your path." Like we're not taking prisoners.
prisoners,
It's like
yeah.
women and children. We don't give a fuck.
Yep.
And you also hear Gandalf screaming, "Fight! Fight to the last man," which is a great line. And then suddenly you hear the horn, and then
Yeah.
you see Gothmog noticing that Rohan has come.
Oh my god.
And 6 shots of all the riders,
Yeah, our good friend Sean Pavano wanted me to call out this being not just one of the best scenes in the trilogy, but one of the best scenes of all time in cinema. And I'm kind of with him, man. I love this sequence. The last ride of the Rohirrim. I believe it's the chapter title in the book or something, and highly recommend everyone check out. This was Tolkien's favorite passage in the books, and there's like a couple-minute video of him reading this passage, and it's just beautiful. And like someone added in the Rohirrim music over it, and just perfect.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we do have this shot of Gothmog telling his soldiers to form ranks. I love like that sort of pointing to these sort of like they're so taken aback by it and sort of like a disorganized mess in a way. Like
Yeah.
I think the men always sort of have that as the upper hand, that they're
Yeah.
like so much more organized and like
They're not as chaotic.
they're
yeah.
much more like lawful. Yeah, is actually what I was gonna say. But Theoden commanding his troops is amazing.
Yeah, and I love when we first see him, he has tears in his eyes. Just like such a poetic, like sensitive moment. And I wrote here Theoman instead of Theoden because he's just the man. And just, but like, showing the sensitivity and just like, I don't really take the tears as fear. But just like, this sadness for the way the world is. And that's how this part reads in the book, where it's just like, at this point it's still dark and like the sun is beginning to rise, and it's like, through Mary's perspective, as he's like, thinks all hope is lost, but then a light comes, and then you get this epic speech and the charge, and it's just, ugh.
He wrote down Theoman, everyone. He wrote down Theoman.
I did.
I love like hitting all the spears with the swords. Eowyn kind of like turning away as he's like talking in front of her.
And I love her just like pumping up Mary, like courage, Mary, for our friends and all that. Just,
and the way they all scream death is like, what a wild thing to do. And we have the Riders of Rohan theme full blast here, of course.
Yeah, I got chills here again. And like when he's commanding around, forth and fear no darkness, and ride for ruin in the world's ending, and then that's when we get the death chanting. I love it, man. This sequence,
It's great. Like the volleys of arrows are like taking out riders as they
Yeah.
charge in, but they continue to charge so fearlessly that you see the orcs like shaking in their boots as like they fucking smash into their front
Yeah,
lines.
there's
You
right
know?
before they hit, there's this great shot of some random rider just like putting the last spurs into the horse's
I think that might
speed.
be gambling even.
Oh, really? I just
Yeah.
love that moment for him of just like, I'm going to be the first through this line and I'm going to hit him with everything I got. And
Yeah.
just the way tension builds. And again, the way the music
It drops out right before they
yeah.
crash in, and all you can hear is just the visceral sounds of war, which
Yeah.
I think is a good point to what Tolkien wanted to talk about with these
Yeah.
books. Like, not just like all this glory and like hurrah bullshit, but also like this is like visceral and this is like tragic, and like all those sounds of like the crunching, the slashing, the smashing, like you're just like almost like it's this moment of like such like climactic glory, but then like all those visceral sounds to remind you like this is something like horrible.
Yeah. And, I've been harping on some of the tactics, but this part's pretty true and just in terms of historical, battles of just like if you have if you have horses and they are not prepared for you, like over and over again, you see like much smaller armies of horses just completely cutting through armies like butter.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it looks sick as fuck
It's
too.
so
Like
good, yeah.
the way that you see the close ups and then the wides, it all looks really awesome. Next scene we have Pippin grabbing Gandalf to tell him Denethor's lost his mind and he's gonna burn Faramir alive.
Yeah, and he's oiling up.
Yeah. I think you maybe see that in like the next scene because you see like Éomer and the riders like tearing through the ranks of orcs, but it is like yeah. Then you see like Denethor fucking like dropping the oil, getting all lubed up as Connor likes to say, and yeah, he drops like the fire on him, on like them on the pyre,
Yeah, Gandalf busts in.
and knocks him off the fire. And I love Pippin jumping in
Yeah.
to roll Faramir
Great
off.
moment for Pippin, yeah. And I I like how so Gandalf just keeps beating the shit out of Denethor. He's kicked him off the fire. He beat him up with his staff, and he keeps trying to make this work so he doesn't have to kill him. But then Denethor jumps on Pippin. And he's like, "All right, enough's enough," and he freaking kicks him into the fire with his horse. And yeah, this is a fun is enemy of the nitpick moment where he gets set on fire and then he runs like a half mile
Yeah, it's
to
sick as
jump off
fuck.
the cliff. Like it doesn't make sense, but like
No, it makes sense.
it looks so good though.
It makes great
I
sense.
love the way he drops off and it pulls like way back.
Yeah,
into
it's
the battle.
a great
It looks
transition shot.
awesome.
Yeah, because you see the whole like battle and you see him like falling as a flame, and then we are with the riders of Rohan pushing the orc army back, and then they run into the Oliphants of the Haradrim. You know,
Right, and this is where I noted just how tired Gandalf looks. Just the
Yeah.
biggest
Yes,
bags
yes,
under his
yes.
eyes. Just like they've been fighting all day and night now. Yeah, and I love how this is like a 2-day battle. Like Helm's Deep, that was like one night.
Yeah.
We've went from they came during the day, fought all night. Now like the sun was rising when Rohan got here, and this
Yeah.
battle is not close to done yet.
Yeah, for sure. I love to like the Oliphants start tearing into the like ranks of like the riders, and you can tell that they don't really understand how to contend with this thing. But I love how we kind of start to see like first Éomer looking up and like seeing the guy driving like the fucking Oliphant, and then throwing the spear at it,
Yeah.
and like standing there kind of like fearlessly, and the way the whole like Rube Goldberg of the guy falling off and pulling on the left ear so that it crashes into another Oliphant. And then you start to see like like the riders start to figure out sort of how to contend with the Oliphants.
Yeah.
They start shooting at the legs, and
I love Eowyn's moment
Yeah.
with the
The
double
two swords,
cuts
yeah,
on
very
the
cool.
back legs. Very cool.
but it is cool to see them presented with a problem that seems to devastate the
Yeah, well,
ranks.
that's-
and then answer with like, okay, we're starting to
Maybe
figure it
this
out.
is the moment the music cuts out. It might carry on in the Rohan charge, but then here I think when they're
no,
charging all the Ephants-
it absolutely cuts out
Okay,
right
well, we get-
before they like.
Well, we get
like,
another one here where right when they're charging, we get climactic music, and then right when the elephants or the Oliphants, pardon me, start tearing them apart, the music just cuts out. It's just devastation, and it's horrible, man. Like horses getting stomped on, and just
Yeah.
absolute. I love the barbed wires between the tusks of the
Yeah.
Oliphants. Super cool idea.
Yeah, and the way they show the like head sweeping back
Yeah.
and forth, very cool.
Really cool. But yeah, I love the little train wreck from Aramir. That's good stuff. Yeah, and then at some point, Eowyn and Mary's horse goes out from under them when the Oliphant goes down.
Yeah, and they get separated.
Yeah.
Troll trying to break down the gate.
This is a beautiful moment.
Yeah,
too,
Pippin says that he didn't think it would end here, and fucking Gandalf tells him, dude, this isn't the end. Death is a path we must all take. The gray rain curtain of this world rolls back, and all turns to silver clouds, and then you see it. What, Gandalf? See what? White shores and beyond. A far green country under a swift sunrise. Well, that isn't so bad. No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, great faith moment. Again, just like, choosing to believe in something in the darkest of moments. I think there's a lot of power to that.
Yeah, and it's cool breaking up like a lot of these like battle scenes where sometimes it's easy to get sort of like lost in what's happening with some of these more like some of this more dialogue driven moments. The Witch King is coming straight for Theoden. We do get this low frame rate slow-mo reaction shot from Eowyn, but
I like it.
I don't like this.
I like the weight of the moment.
I like the weight of the moment. I think you can use different techniques to shoot
without
that.
the low frame.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I like the weight of the moment. I don't like the low frame rate slow motion.
I like the slow motion, but maybe not the low frame rate.
No, yeah, it looks bad in my opinion, especially a movie that looks so good for the most part.
Yeah, and the Witch King is like feast on his flesh.
Yeah, and I love the way that Eowyn like puts herself between the Nazgul and Theoden.
Yeah.
And the way, again, she just fucking cuts the thing's head off with a few friggin' hacks, dude.
Yeah.
And I also love Miranda Otto's performance of like she looks scared when she's
she
like
looks
facing
terrified. Her eyes
like
are
the
just
Witch King.
huge. Yeah, and the music here, the flail, just like
yeah.
The Witch King looks awesome. This is a sick fight here.
Yeah,
because it feels hopeless. He's so powerful.
He breaks her fucking shield. He's fully got her on the back foot.
It like shatters into her body.
Yeah. Then the orcs are cursing the late pirates, the Corsairs. Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas pop out. We hear a little bit of that fellowship theme. And the army of dead at their fucking backs, and they fucking just devastate these orcs.
Yep. And then right when the Witch King's about to kill Eowyn, we got Pippin coming in clutch with
Mary.
Oh, sorry, Mary coming in clutch with the elvish dagger that we don't see him get in the non-extended, but is one of the gifts from Galadriel.
We also hear the line, "No man can kill me." Mary stabs him, stops him from getting Eowyn. And then we also see that Mary's like burned by the blade, like once he stabs him, like almost like there's this like he's so
that's
evil.
In the book too.
It's like oozing off
like,
of him.
Yeah, like there's like a backlash from cutting into him, basically.
Yeah. And then Eowyn throwing the helmet off and saying, "I am no man," and stabbing him in the fucking face. And then she also gets burned by the sword she uses.
I love the way his body crumples up. That's such a
Very cool effect. Yeah, I love how it is like just like taking an aluminum can like.
Yeah, it looks great.
We got classic Legolas and Gimli counting. Aragorn calling to Legolas, "Hey, do this really difficult thing and take down this huge animal." And we have one of my favorite like action choreographies in all of these movies.
Yeah, I mean this is Legolas's like moment.
Yeah, it's amazing the way he like picks it apart and just like him looking. I love that too, where it's not just like him being badass with the like a bow and arrow, but him looking to see like to figure out like how do I take this down? Where do I go?
Well, the way he's like climbing up the arrows on the Oliphant, and then he's like waiting for the moment where the leg goes far enough back so he can jump up onto the other leg to get up the back,
and that he takes the hauda off, like he like takes that off, and then he takes the Oliphant out.
Yeah.
So fucking well done.
Still only counts as one.
Yeah.
It always cracks me up. Just his delivery there is so good.
Yeah. I love the shot of the army of the dead sweeping through Minas Tirith in this wide shot where you see just like the green of the ghosts going through. Really well done.
Yeah, and I believe in the books the ghosts actually do not come here. They use the ghosts to get the ships, but that was kind of considered the oath fulfilled. And then he uses the ships to pick up a bunch of like Gondor soldiers who were on their way to the battle kind of thing.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it's nice to have it be more of a like.
Yeah, it makes sense for the
humanities is the one who wins this battle. Yeah,
for sure. It makes sense for the movies to make it a little bit more efficient, you know, and like it's just like a surprise, and you don't have to explain who these new guys are, you know. Theoden is under his horse, Eowyn crawling to him, you know.
Another beautiful scene.
Yeah,
my body is broken.
Yeah. because she says, "I'm going to save you," and he says, "You already did."
Oh, oh yeah. His last line of like, "I go to my father's,
Yeah.
whose mighty presence I shall no longer be ashamed." Like, oh.
Yeah, it's great, dude. Really good stuff.
And just like a perfect bow on his arc of,
Yeah, he gets to
giving
join his son,
everything,
you know?
and yeah, and giving everything for, uh, like being so afraid that he couldn't rise to what he needed to be, the man he needed to be, and then doing it,
Yeah. Yeah. I was happy for him. I was like, you get to be with Theodred again. Good
Yeah.
for you, man. And whoever your wife was, who we never mentioned or put any importance on, but I'm sure that she was a cool lady too.
That's a good point.
Eowyn weeps.
Yeah.
And then we've got Pippin and Gandalf walking up to Aragorn, Legolas, and Well, actually, it's Gandalf walking up to Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli. The King of the Dead asking to be released, and Gimli's like, "Dude, you should keep him around."
Yeah.
Aragorn's like, "Nah."
And I think a lot
you're
of the
free."
audience is like,
Yeah.
You probably should keep him around. But I do love, like after he frees him, like he looks to Gandalf, and you can tell like Gandalf like agrees with his choice to let them go.
Yeah.
Which kind of ties into, all those themes of like the supernatural can only help mankind so much to fulfill the vision of Iluvatar and all that.
For sure. Beautiful moment of Pippin finding Merry on the battlefield and him saying,
Yeah.
"I knew you'd find me."
Yeah.
Very cute. You can totally get why, like, in our society, like, we really, like, male friendships, I think we just don't really, like, talk about them with, like, like the softness that, like, Tolkien did.
Yeah.
So, like, the big thing when these movies came out is, like, the hobbits are, like, two gay couples. And, like, I have nothing against that.
Yeah.
I think, like, the love between two people, romantic love between two people is so beautiful. But I love, like, how tender they are with each other.
Yeah.
And how it is, like, they are just, like, it is a platonic friendship, but they're not scared of that sort of, like, being so, like, vulnerable with
Yeah.
each other,
Absolutely.
It's really beautiful.
Yeah.
We're at this tower in Mordor where Frodo is captive.
Yeah. It's a bad time in here.
Yeah, orcs are looking through his stuff. They're fighting over the mithril shirt. You can see he doesn't have the ring around his neck at this point.
Yeah.
You
and
also
the fight breaking out here, just like
Yeah.
huge example of, evil
I have a
destroying
note right
itself.
here.
Yeah.
Literally, my note says, "Big fight ensues, evil destroying itself," as Connor would say.
Yeah, and just like the way they like literally kill everyone.
Yeah, Sam rolls up and everyone is dead.
Yeah,
And the way
this
he
is
takes
how it
it-
happens in the book.
He
too,
takes
yeah.
on 3 orcs, dude. That's so
Yes.
badass, dude.
I love that for Frodo, the Shire, and my old gaffer.
Yeah, what a
Love
badass,
that.
dude.
Love that.
And Frodo's trying to break free. These scenes like are tied together so efficiently.
Yeah.
Well, I love like Gorbag is about to stick him, but Sam sticks Gorbag first.
Not if I stick you first. Yeah.
Yeah, and Frodo's like, "I'm sorry, Sam. Also, it's over. They took the ring." And Sam's like, "No, I got it." And again, they put so much weight on it, like where it's like, and it's like, he's like, "I thought I had lost you, man." And he's like,
And
"Give me the ring."
the eerie music and Sam's temptation. This is his moment. Can he give up the ring? And he does struggle, but he gives it up.
Yeah, like he struggles, but like not very much compared to other people,
Oh yeah, no, I mean he's a true spirit.
The way too Frodo's like, "Give me the ring, give me the ring," and then he's like, "You got to understand, dude. It's my burden to bear. It would destroy you, Sam."
Yeah, it's interesting because I kind of do take that as a genuine moment of fear for Sam. The way he sees, like, it feels like this desperate, like, oh no, it's got him. I
think
can't let
also
this happen to him.
it's unfair to read Sam's reticence as purely temptation. I think part of it is like, it's destroying my friend.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, and you can see it like full scale here, like the
Yeah.
the mark of the chain on
Yeah,
his
for
neck.
sure.
Like,
so I
love
think
that.
I think to be 100% fair, there is part of it that is like unselfishly motivated. That is like, should I give this back to him, dude?
Yeah.
It's like your friend being like,
Yeah, it's a good
Dude.
point. I think there's that on both sides.
No, for sure. And I
Yeah.
think it's good that there is that, like, it's hard to read what the percentage of what is,
Yeah. The ring is my burden.
Yeah.
And they get some
It would
orc
destroy you,
armor
Sam.
on.
Yeah.
There's a cutscene that's in the extended coming up here soon. Another like evil destroying itself moment where they're about to get found out because they're slowing down because Frodo's so weak by the orcs because they're marching with them, kind of like blending in.
Yeah.
And Frodo tricks them into starting a fight with each other. So another battle breaks out between the orcs and they slip away.
Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. You can see Mount Doom now in its glory. And they do mention that there's so many of them that they'll never get through
Yeah.
unseen.
And you can see the eye.
Yeah, and I love Sam saying, "Look, man, let's just try and make it downhill for starters, right? Like,
Yeah,
let's take her one step at a time.
time.
Hey,
Yeah,
one day at a time. That's what they say in AA, bro."
yeah. And then we cut back to Minas Tirith and Gandalf saying Frodo has passed beyond my sight, which is interesting because they haven't like suggested that he can see him at all.
No, actually, earlier in the movie, they kind of suggested that he couldn't,
Yeah,
and
so
he had to look to his heart to decide if he was alive or not.
yeah, so I don't know. I mean, I assume
Slightly
there's more there.
inconsistent.
Yeah, maybe just because he's closer to him, he can sense him, or I don't know.
Yeah. Sauron's regrouping behind the walls of Mordor. Gimli's like, "Fuck him, dude, let him rot." And then Gandalf's like, "You don't get it, dude. There are 10,000 orcs that are now standing between Frodo and Mount Doom."
Yeah, and I've sent him to his death.
Yeah, he's all hope is lost for Gandalf.
And I love, yeah, Aragorn, you know, he keeps reassuring Gandalf throughout this movie, you know, the true king. No, he says.
We're going to distract him. We're going to pull the forces out by attacking the Black Gate.
Yeah, and I love, you know, Gimli's like, oh, no chance of success? What are we waiting for?
Yeah. The boys are all marching out. I love Aragorn is repping Gondor. I love Pippin is repping Gondor, and I love Merry is repping Rohan. Like they all and you see like these different shots of all of them.
Yeah.
And just the way the shot starts is with the scene starts is with like just the emblem of the white tree on Aragorn's chest, and it pulls out to like show his face.
Yeah, and
Very cool.
In the books, Merry does not come along with them because he's still recovering from the battle, which makes sense. It's a little inconsistent. He's like fine here, but I want him to be here, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Then we see that Sam and Frodo notice all the orcs marching towards the gate.
Some luck at last.
Yep.
Luck being friendship, baby.
The troops marching towards the Black Gate. You have Frodo so thirsty, but he's got no water. Sam gives him the last of his. There is this conversation about, we'll have none for the return journey. And Sam finally, at the end of his like
at the base of Mount Doom,
he's like, I don't think there's gonna be a trip back, bro.
Yeah.
Forces of men have gathered at the Black Gate. Frodo stumbling and reaching, Sam following behind, and this shot of the fucking eye of Sauron turning towards them.
Yeah.
Sam screams, "Get down!" You know, and Frodo collapses with the eye like coming toward, like looking towards him.
I've always been a little annoyed by the eye landing right on him and Sauron not like. You're telling me this is the eye that like sees everything in the world, but when its light is literally cast like right on Frodo, he can't sense the ring or has no idea who that is.
Yeah,
like,
it is inconsistent. Yeah,
whatever. It just kind of undermines his power. But it's cool visually.
Yeah. And I do what I like is like the back and forth of it. Like I like how that ultimately sort of turns into like Aragorn screaming at the gate, like, "Come forth, let justice be done upon him, the Lord of the Black Land." And the gate creaks open, and then Sauron turns his eye away.
Yeah.
And like how we're having the different parts play out. Like I think that like the blocking and just like logistically, it's very cool how that like sort of works out.
Yeah, and I love Aragorn just like challenging Sauron, you know. And so this is something I found out recently. There is footage. Originally, the troll that Aragorn is battling in this end sequence was actually Sauron, like in his like full geared up armor.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen that before.
Yeah.
Like part of me is like, wait, does Sauron come out and fight at this last part?
Yeah, I mean not in the books. At least I don't. Yeah, I feel like I would remember that. But I think it's a good choice to not bring him out here. It feels I kind of like him as just like this broken presence represented by the eye, you know?
Yeah, for sure. So Sam and Frodo see that the eye is gone. They start making their way back, and then we have the armies of man all looking scared, but Aragorn giving his amazing speech.
Oh yeah, and I just got the way the gate opens and the eye in the background pointed at them, like the light of it, like just perfect framing.
Yeah, really well done. Viggo Mortensen fucking kills it, dude.
Oh yeah,
great job here. One of my favorite performances in this film.
Yep.
In all of these films is this speech. That's why we chose it for the opening. It felt very appropriate.
Yeah, and I like you get the main theme coming in here as he's giving the speech. It's really good. And then we see them climbing the mountain, and
Frodo falls because he loves doing that.
He loves doing that. But then we also have Sam like laying on the ground next to him.
And his tummy hurts.
Yeah, yeah. He didn't fall. He's just taking a break.
He does look like he's kind of like, oh fuck, I'm so hungry, like and like holding his stomach or something.
Yeah, they're struggling a lot.
And then the army being surrounded.
Man, basically the rest of the movie, I think, is just like perfection. Like,
yeah,
it's so tense. I love how just like so it feels so hopeless, but they're so close, and the way they play with that tension,
Yeah, it's super good.
which is like, the most forgiving part about leaving out the Scouring of the Shire from the movies, where it's just like the way they intertwine these sequences in a
Yeah.
movie just feels perfect,
Yeah, I really don't feel like they needed it in the movies.
No, yeah, I would love to see an adaptation someday, maybe like a TV version or something that has the whole thing in there with even Tom Bombadil.
What about
and
the animated ones from this? Do those have the Scouring of the Shire?
I don't think so. No.
I do really love that like shot of Frodo looking up the mountain and he's like dragging himself along to this like beautiful like pastoral little flute. It feels very like Shire coded.
Yeah, yeah, I love just this moment for Frodo, just like every last ounce of strength. He's so close, pulling himself. Sam's collapsed, like everything he's got to get up this mountain and finish it,
Yeah.
And then he can't. He just collapses.
No, yeah, exactly. We have the moment that we've I think talked about a couple times with Gimli saying that he'd never die fighting side by side with an elf. How about with a bud?
With a little buddy.
How about with a good buddy?
Yeah, pointy-eared buddy.
Sam holding Frodo, asking him if he remembers the Shire, and it's so depressing the way
So
that he
beautiful.
says, "I don't remember the taste of food or the touch of grass.
Yeah.
I'm naked in the dark."
There's no veil between me and the wheel of fire.
So fucking tragic.
Yeah, and I love when Sam's talking here. It's just like the faintest glimmer of the Shire theme interwoven here, and then it like turns into this dark theme as Frodo gives his little monologue.
Yeah, he says it'll be spring soon. Eating the first of the strawberries and cream. Do you remember the taste of strawberries and cream? And Frodo's like, nah, dog, I don't remember anything good in this world. All I remember is pain. All I know is pain.
Yeah,
It just feels like such a real like conversation you might have with a friend where you're like, oh man, you remember like this night? No, I don't. My childhood was horrible. Like something like that. Or like,
Yeah.
Like, do you remember this? No, I don't remember that. Sounds nice, but no, I have no fucking hope. And then the Sauron speaking directly to Aragorn.
Yeah. Well, we also get the "I can carry you" moment.
Oh yes, for sure. He says, "I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you."
Which is just fucking awesome.
Yeah, great, beautiful display of friendship.
And just the visual of him marching up this mountain with no strength left, and Frodo thrown over his back. Like, man, love it.
Great shit. But yeah, Sauron speaking directly to Aragorn. You hear him like, "Elisar."
Yeah.
And that moment where he just screams for Frodo and charges in.
Yeah.
And I love the way he like looks back and then like turns to go like fight. And then it's Merry and Pippin who follow
the
first.
first one's out, and then everyone else,
And the Fellowship theme, super epic.
Yeah, it's great. And then this shot, man. So it's like cutting between chaos and Gollum standing on top of the rock when they're getting near the gate.
Yeah,
and
he ambushes them.
And the lightning striking behind as he jumps down, and it's just cutting between this battle between Gollum and Sam, and the battle on the field, and the Nazgul are flying in.
Yeah.
It's just all the tension is just perfectly ramped up.
Yeah, we have Gollum bite Sam in the neck, and then Sam slashes Gollum away. Frodo running into Mount Doom. The Nazgul like coming down towards the army, and we focus on Gandalf, and he sees the moth.
Yeah.
And then the
love
eagles
it.
appear and start fucking kicking the shit out of
awesome.
the Nazgul.
So good.
And then we see Sam running into Mount Doom after Frodo, and Frodo's standing there being creepy as fuck, just like, and he goes, "I'm here, Sam." And it's like, oh my god, this is so unsettling.
This is one of my favorite choices Tolkien made.
Absolutely. He's not going to cast it out.
Yeah, that Frodo can't do it because no single man can overcome evil.
Yeah. And then again, the whole thing about evil, like, consuming itself here, right?
Yeah.
Like,
the ring is mine.
Yeah. And then I like the whole sequence, of course, of him putting it on. And then we're like cutting back to the Eye of Sauron, now turning towards Mount Doom.
There's
the Nazgul fleeing the battle towards Mount Doom.
Yeah, there's a great passage here in the book where Sauron realizes his mistake. Because again, like in the books, he has no idea that the ring is coming. And it's like this beautiful moment Tolkien gives us of Sauron just realizing like, oh fuck, like everything I have done is about to collapse on me. That like his folly is all coming down on him.
That's pretty good. Pretty good. And we see like Sam gets knocked down by a rock by Gollum, and Gollum can see Frodo's footprint. Cut back to Aragorn, who's gonna fight that huge troll. Gollum wrestling invisible Frodo, and then he bites his finger off. You see Aragorn goes down. Legolas sees Aragorn go down. Then cut back to Gollum in disbelief that he has the ring. Aragorn still waiting for the big fucker to come down on him, and then Gollum rejoicing. And then Frodo kind of taking the Gollum role and being pissed off and like tackling him back, and then both going over the edge, you know?
So good. I want to shout out one little thing. There's a moment before Frodo puts the ring on where he's just like holding it, and there's this very like creepy, you know, again, great sound design and just the tension of the music. But I noticed, I believe it's like the ring theme, like played in reverse here as the final temptation, and it's just like
Cool.
sounds super eerie and great. And this is an interesting change. I think the right choice, because it's so climactic. But like, there's also part of me that does kind of like how it goes down in the books, where in the books Frodo does not wrestle Gollum. Gollum is just like so overjoyed and like so happy, and he's dancing around, and he just slips.
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, they thought it was too anticlimactic. I agree for the cinema. I do kind of like the theme of it though, like
Just like this tiny little moment. Again, it's like the whole scale of things. The tiniest choice, the tiniest misstep can cast all plans like, you know.
And just the joy that the ring gave Gollum is the thing that undoes it.
Yeah, it is good. I don't mind it at all. We do have a nice scene from like them falling in, which is like Sam like trying to pull him up and basically like asking Frodo to just have a little bit more
Frodo's
fucking
ready.
hope.
You can, his performance is perfect because you can just see it in his eyes that he's ready to let go. Like he even kind of like shakes his head as Sam, like he's about to let go.
Yeah.
He's saying goodbye basically, and just don't you let go. And then, as I mentioned in Fellowship, this beautiful mirroring of when Frodo saves Sam from the river, of Sam reaching down and you see Frodo reaches for him, and there's this great clutching moment, and he pulls him up.
That's beautiful.
And then the ring is destroyed like right then.
Yeah, I love the way that it sits on top of the lava for a second before melting in like this really weird way.
Because the first time I saw this, and I think the whole audience is just like, come on, get destroyed. And just the fact that it has this little moment of sitting on top of the lava, just like, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's good. Everything falls apart for the bad guys. The Eye of Sauron's all fucked up. That big fucker who was going to kill Aragorn just runs away.
Yeah.
The tower collapses. Everyone watching on.
Yeah, and I love this. It's just, again, like a really good emotional moment of everyone cheering and so happy. And, Merry shouting Frodo, but then they see the eruption from Mount Doom, and they're like, and it turns to despair as they're mourning Frodo and thinking he's dead,
Yeah, very cool the way that, like, it all falls like into like a chasm where all the bad guys are, but the good guys are like on this platform. And then, like you said, Mount Doom explodes, and they're like, "Oh fuck, no, our boy is gonna fucking die." And then the way the flaming rocks are hitting like the Nazgul, very
it's
cool.
Awesome, yeah.
Frodo and Sam do make it out of Mount Doom. They run from the lava. They find a nice safe rock. I love this part, right? Like, where Frodo's so relieved, and he's like, it's gone.
He finally has his life back.
Yeah, and he looks like so much better. Yeah. And you see Sam next to him just like, yeah, it's done. Like, just kind of like, God, fuck you, dude. Like, you just put me through the fucking ringer, dog. Are you serious? Like, after all that, you were going to fucking throw it in the fucking fire? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. Which I love, because it's like he never says it, but there's this like stirring underneath him where he's like, yeah, it's done. Where you're just like, yeah, dude, I feel you. You've been through a lot, bro.
Yeah,
because he looks haggard, and like I said, you sense maybe a tiny bit of resentment there, but again, it's never like brought to the surface.
Yeah, and I think just despair, because like it looks like there's no chance of getting out of here.
Yeah. Where it's like Frodo's so happy that he doesn't have to deal with the ring, he can't even think of the fact that like, oh, we're not gonna make it out of here, and Sam's like, we're not gonna fucking make it out of here.
Yeah, well, I think Galadriel even tells Elrond in the second movie that Frodo is beginning to realize that the journey will claim his life. So I think there's more acceptance with Frodo than Sam about dying.
Yeah, I mean, and Frodo says, I can see the Shire, right?
Yeah, which Sam, great reflection.
And Sam looks so tired, and you hear him seem kind of hopeful where he says that he sees Rosie Cotton dancing. And he says that he wanted to marry her. Like, if he was ever going to marry someone, it would have been her. Like, kind of like mourning the loss of that life.
Yeah, this is another just great tender moment. And then Frodo just kind of like takes him in his arms and comforts him. And
I'm glad to be with you here at the end of all things.
Yeah.
Fade to black. Sam and Frodo on the rock. Then they get scooped up by the eagles.
So great little detail here that Gandalf brought 3 eagles in the hopes that Smeagol survived.
How nice of him. What
Just
a sweet guy.
Just a beautiful sentiment, like still even after everything with Gollum, like there's still this hope that he could be saved,
Yeah, because they need one talon for like landing and stuff. No, I'm serious. Like, because you see, like, they can only really hold one guy. They can't hold 2 guys. You know?
Yeah.
We see the pure blinding white light. We have this very classic scene of Frodo waking up with, you hear the sound of birds, Gandalf watching over him. And then you remember, that's right, he didn't know Gandalf was alive.
Yeah, I know you think this part's kind of cheesy.
It is. It's totally cheesy. It's okay, though.
Yeah, well, I think why it doesn't feel cheesy to me is that it is like so over the top, but it's so over the top in contrast to this huge tension that was built, and it just feels like such a nice release, and like, bringing all the themes together of the friendship and like.
Yeah, for sure. I just think tonally it just feels so. It feels a little weird. It's definitely, as a kid, as a 13-year-old, 12-year-old kid, I'm watching this part and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is so silly.
That's
but
funny.
like, I mean, yeah, I it's okay. Like, I don't hate it. Like, I understand where you're coming from, but I feel like maybe could have been a little. I also feel like at this point when you're writing this or figuring out how to shoot everything, you're like, let's just fucking go for it, dude. Like, such an exhausting production. Like, I can imagine just being like, this works,
we have no idea what order this was filmed
No,
in.
we don't. But I just mean like when. Yeah, we don't know the order it's filmed, but I imagine it was storyboarded probably somewhat linearly. So like when you get to this point, it's like, how are we gonna like show this part? Let's just like lean into it. Let's just make it very very easy cinema language to be like, look at this huge moment of like relief, right?
Yeah, there is a part here that always cracks me up from another joke online that Frodo like calls out every person's name as they walk in one by one except Legolas, and he kind of has a puzzed look on his face. So the theory is that he just like forgot Legolas's name.
Yeah,
It's just super funny. But I love it's such a like overjoyed moment, and I love how grounded it becomes when Sam walks in.
Yeah,
and they lock eyes.
That's the best part of the moment.
Yeah,
is that like
absolutely,
Merry and Pippin jumping up on the bed, and then when Sam walks in last, he just like. Frodo smiles
and
at him.
And the Shire theme comes in.
Yeah, and then like Sam looks at Frodo and like takes a moment and then like smiles at him, and you can just feel like this,
so much weight.
Yeah, the trauma, like almost like the irreparable damage that has been done to their relationship.
Like everything's good now, but it's just like there's still such a dark cloud over them from all the horror. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got Minas Tirith is packed. We got the friggin' the crowning of the king, Aragorn,
Yeah. This day does not belong to one man. And I had thought that Aragorn's song was just in the extended, so I was happy to see it here.
Yeah, he sings a song. It's really dope.
Yeah, it's really pretty. A lot of good singers on this cast, man. Yeah, I love the flower petals coming
being
down.
good at singing. Who would have thought?
And yeah, just it's so joyous, and Legolas coming up, and I love his little side eye to like, oh, just wait till you see who's behind me. And there's this instant moment where like Aragorn kind of like knows what he means, and just like the excitement and the reveal of Arwen, and it's so like beautiful. And one thing I really noticed on the later watches is just like I really watched Hugo Weaving's performance here, and just like the tears in his eyes of just like so sad to lose his daughter, but like also so happy for her, and like happy for the realms of men, and that this evil's finally defeated. That it's just like a really subtle, powerful performance going on in the background with him.
Yeah, really, really beautiful scene. Reunited, and it feels so good. Plays in the background. They start clapping. I mean, they start making out, and everybody starts clapping. Aragorn and Arwen walk up to the hobbits,
man.
You can see a little bit of the seams of the CGI because the lighting's a little inconsistent. It's not horrible, but it is noticeable.
Yeah.
We get the great line, my friends, you bow to no one. And then everyone bows to them.
Man, I've seen it so many times, but I got tears in my eyes again, bro. It's just such a powerful moment. And just like the way it zooms in on each of them. And I love how distinct each of their characters take this, right? Pippin's just like, hell yeah. And Mary is like, just kind of like in awe, and Sam is kind of just like overwhelmed, like almost embarrassed looking, and Frodo has this kind of like resigned look on his face,
Yeah.
But also like victorious,
Yeah, for sure. The rest of this is like we got this sort of like fading to the drawing of the map, Frodo doing this sort of VO about the beginning of the Fourth Age, and it is all of this sort of like post mortem on the situation, and shots of all of them like returning home, and
13 months to the day.
14 months later, I think is what he
Oh,
says.
my bad.
That's okay. It's okay. It's just one number off. And then I love them like sitting back at the Green Dragon. Very come back from war, like sort of like vibe to it, where they all share this silent look and like clink their beers.
It's just so good, man. Trying to pick up the semblance of the life they had here. Oh, I do love the old man who disapproves of them coming back into town
Yeah.
from the beginning. Just like, another adventure, great. And yeah, just the way that the Shire theme starts to come in here as Sam sees Rosie and he goes off, takes a sip of his beer, finds the courage, and then the way it swells when it cuts to them kissing at the wedding, man. I got tears again. Just
Yeah,
so
good
beautiful.
stuff. And you can already see the melancholy in Frodo, like at the wedding.
Yeah.
And he's back at Bag End, and he's musing about how can you go back when you know there's no going back.
Yeah, I like that line. How do you pick up the threads of an old life?
Yeah, it's good shit. I think we also see Frodo's finished his part of the story.
Yeah, the Lord of the Rings.
Sam comes in and sees him, and Frodo mentions the wound on his shoulder.
Been 4 years since he was stabbed, and it never really healed.
Yeah. And Frodo also tells Sam there's still some room for more in like the story. All of the hobbits going to the harbor to see off Bilbo and Gandalf, and all the stuff with Bilbo's great. He's quite ready for another adventure.
Yeah.
Gandalf saying goodbye, but then turning to like Frodo, it's time.
Yeah. And
then,
this is the last ship to leave Middle Earth. And I do love Bilbo wanting to see the ring one last time.
Yeah, very silly.
Yeah. And he's like, I'm afraid I lost it. Pity. Yeah, Gandalf. I mean, this scene, man. Yeah, the elf saying the sea calls us home, and yeah, Gandalf saying it's time, Frodo. I do love Gandalf's line here too. I won't tell you not to weep, for not all tears are are of an evil. Just like great line.
It's good shit. It's good shit. Sam is obviously very heartbroken, and Frodo tells him, "We set out to save the Shire, and we did, but not for me." Then he hands him the book, and he tells him that the last pages are for him. Frodo hugs Merry, then Pippin, and then Sam last. It's very sad. He kisses him on the forehead, and then they walk onto the boat and sail away. I love Sam too, lingering to watch it sail into the sunset.
Yeah, and I mean it looks amazing too.
Yeah. Then the very end is Sam walking back to the Shire, greeted by his family. I love how they walk in and the door closes.
Yeah.
And then it says, we fade to black, and then the end.
Yeah, and that line from Sam is the last line of the book. Well, I'm back, he said.
Yeah, good shit. Great shit. Good movie.
Great movie. I'm gonna give it another S+. I love it so much. It still makes me cry, even though I've seen it so many times.
I'm gonna give this one an S as well. Yeah, really good shit. Really good shit.
It's so powerful. The themes are so strong to me. I love the idea. Just like the weight Tolkien gives, returning home from war and how it can never truly be the same, and the world they saved, and how it's not for Frodo, even though he was the one who saved it, and just all that stuff's really powerful to me. And
that shot of them in the pub is like so telling. The four of them there, like looking around, and they've like grown so much as people.
Yeah, every time I watch this one, I feel like Fellowship of the Ring is my favorite. Just in terms of like pacing, the way it's set up. I love all the environments we get in Fellowship. We move from the magical to the more, well, I think the whole movie is basically still like magical all the way up to Lothlorien. And then the Two Towers and Return of the King is more grounded in its environments, like with the darkness of Mordor looming over everything. So I think there's something more easily watchable about Fellowship of the Ring, but I think Return of the King has the best moments throughout, and I love the whole ending. The multiple endings.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely remember when I watched it in theaters, I was like, okay. Which can feel a little anticlimactic, but I think the idea is that the story is so epic, it does need time to breathe to fully encapsulate the ending.
Yeah, it's nice to watch it at home where you can just take a break for a minute or grab a drink and whatever, and pace it out your own way.
Speaking of endings, next week will be the last episode of the year.
That's right.
We got something fun planned. We will be spinning the wheel, of course, figure out our new category for January. But we're also going to talk a little bit about the year in review.
Yeah.
Talk about some of our favorite movies from certain categories, talk about maybe some of our favorite movie villains, maybe some of our favorite performances, favorite scores, whatnot. Just kind of seeing what we've learned from this, not quite a year, but 11 months of film analysis.
Yeah, it's been so fun. It's been a
It
fun
has
journey.
been.
Our own little Hobbit journey.
Our own little Hobbit journey. But yeah, so tune in for that. It should be pretty good. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And happy holidays, everyone.
Happy holidays. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your mom you love her. Tell your friends you love them. And we will see you on the shores of the undying lands. Lands.
Lands.
Lands. Lands. Lands. I love you, Connor. Happy holidays.
Love you too, man.